the late 90s.
So
I
you got
remember a few
Magic.
of those.
There's nothing else close.
The All-Star game in Milwaukee, the baseball All-Star game that ended in a tie and led to home field advantage. It wasn't good, but it was memorable with Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds of the home run.
Why has Milwaukee not had the All-Star game yet? We built this taxpayer money. We built this huge stadium. Why do we not have an All-Star game?
Are you talking about AmFam Field?
No, I'm talking about we've had one
Forum.
Yeah,
they've been in the running for it. They weren't selected for either
being in the running. The stadium's almost 10. What age? How old is that stadium now? It's 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it's been pre-pandemic.
All right, enough. NBA, it's time. Let's go.
All right, they are in the running. I saw they were one of the 4 finalists for one of the upcoming
running. You need to win.
Okay, understood.
Golden State gets when they built their stadium 2 years ago. What are we doing?
Larger market.
Don't care. There's perks to build these stadiums. You build it, they shall come. Oh. Didn't you ever watch Costner?
Yeah, I did watch Costner, yes. Not in Waterworld, though. Heard that one wasn't as good. 844-770-3776. So, of course, Tausch is talking about the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game last night. The United States falls in overtime to Canada. Canada gets its redemption, its retribution, with a victory over the United States, 3-2 in overtime last night. I did watch. I did fall asleep in the third period.
It's not shocking.
Our furnace went out yesterday, so we had a very busy night. We had a couple of people come over and give us an estimate on that. We had to get some space heaters set. It was a whole deal at the Nelson residence.
Good thing it's not
night.
Cold out now.
Yeah, right.
It turns 25. 25 degrees yesterday felt like 60. Like, I legit didn't wear a coat today. I always have my rabbit jacket for winter. Mm-hmm. It's been freezing. But when you go from 3 days at 0 to 24 below, and it gets to be 25, it feels like spring. It's 60 degrees in my eyes. So I know that's a bummer your furnace broke, but I bet it probably didn't even notice.
Oh, we noticed. I can promise you we noticed.
Grab a couple blankets and call it.
I slept out. We have a fireplace in our living room. Slept out in the living room with the fireplace. Sounds
very romantic.
Sure.
You have a bearskin rug?
We did not. Watching Canada beat the United States in hockey last night. So I had the game on while we had our person over taking a look at the furnace.
Welcome to home ownership, am I right?
By the way, our guy, big fan of Wilde and Tausch, who stopped over last night. I'll tell you about him in a minute. But he was into the game. Like, he was glad we had it on while we were talking through our furnace options and whatnot. So we had a good time. Our guy Greg. It was a ton of fun. Like, the anticipation.
The furnace?
No,
so what's wrong?
Hockey game.
What's wrong with the furnace?
It's the original furnace from the house we moved into 25 years old.
Are they asking you for a new furnace?
We are asking for a new furnace. We knew this would happen when we moved in. We just didn't know when. So 3 years in, we actually had a pretty good run with it. We thought it would go like day one.
When you're buying a house that's older like that, do you say, listen, man, I know this furnace is going to go. We want this credit. Did your great team, Irick and the crew, say, make sure you get this?
So I will say this. One of the things I was actually rooting for, we had a home warranty was part of when we purchased the home, we had a home warranty for a year.
That's with Irick.
And so anything that would go wrong, we were hoping that we would have to like pay a flat cost up front, and then the warranty would cover the rest of it. We were really hoping the furnace would go in year one, and it just never did. And so now 3 years in, it has. So that's unfortunate for us. So
it is a total breakdown. You need a new furnace.
Yes, it's
the
time.
Furnace dude that came over said you need a new furnace.
What we were actually advised of was you could make a couple of small fixes, but it's kind of like an old car. When you take it in, it's got 200,000 miles on it, and like you've got something wrong with the brakes, and you could spend half the price of the car to fix the brakes, and then something else might go wrong on the way home.
Yeah,
and or you could just save the money and put this toward a new one. And so that was what we both knew we wanted to do. Was when we knew what it would be and what the cost would be to fix it, we said, you know what, forget about it. New furnace, let's go. So,
how much is the new furnace?
Around $10,000.
Okay,
around $10,000.
Okay.
So
you better start working more.
You're telling me. I'll start doing some Prep Mania games.
Start getting more Bull Stream
TV
gigs. They head down to Beaver Dam. You should have been advertising. You should have been doing that game today.
Okay, so let's talk about the Hockey All-Star Game and the Four Nations Face-Off, because it was amazing. I was glued to watching the national anthems, the player introductions, like the pregame show.
Not a lot of booze for the Canadian anthem either. It was some. A smidge, and then you let it rip, which I think that's the right way to do it.
So you are proclaiming This was the greatest all-star event of all time.
I don't know how anyone is going to argue with that, because all we ever do is complain. Pro Bowl, nobody hits. NBA, you're scoring 250 points. Major League Baseball, I don't even finish it. Nobody's complaining about this. This has been a great exhibition and forward-facing moment for the game of hockey. And hockey is, I've been in hockey now for a while. It has always been a great youth sport. I think a lot of people look at it as it's too expensive, it's time-consuming. All of that is true. But the game itself, kids, when you get in it, they love it. This has been a watershed moment. Now, do I think that's going to springboard the NHL above the other sports? I don't. But I do think it's shown such a big light on just the value of competition and guys caring. And Youngster, I asked you to pull some audio up. I thought, is it CJ Subban?
PK.
PK. Boy, I was close.
PK Subban, Jeff Subban,
Is it Subban?
the old Brewers pitcher you
Subban,
might be
the
thinking
hockey
of.
analyst for ESPN.
Yes.
I heard this yesterday. It was all over the place on First Take. And by the way, when has hockey, you don't get this much coverage in a Game 7 Stanley Cup in June.
Which we just had with the Panthers and the Oilers back in June. We had Game 7.
You didn't get a full day. I'm talking on First Take where they don't talk about anything but football and debate and what quarterback is doing this. They spend almost all day talking hockey. And old PK, I thought, nailed it with how his approach. I tried to illustrate this with LeBron the other day. And I think I illustrated, I know a lot of people got after me. I went to 8 straight finals. Yeah, and it's not saying he's not a great player. Competitive-wise. Let's hear what CK had to say.
PK Subban.
I'm sick and tired of making athletes greats, all-time greats, that aren't the best examples. Stephen A., you want athletes to be educated on this and understand this. They got to understand the importance of showing up to the All-Star game and being on the court. Because you're making 100, 200, 300 million, you should be out there banged up. You should be. That's why we pay you, is to max out. I don't care if you play 50 years. I want your best 10. I want you on the court dominating. I want you to go all out. I want Michael Jordan. I want Kobe. That's what I want in every sport. That's the guy that I follow. If you're a different version than that, you don't get my respect.
I thought he nailed it.
PK Subban.
I'll write that down, PK. So I do wonder, would you rather see a guy give you 15 great years but he wears out, or you see somebody that is kind of putting reserves away, setting some off in the tank, sitting out seasons when their season didn't go well, load managing, but they give you 22 or 23 years? I don't mind the turnover in stars. I think that's a healthy thing for the game. And I don't know if sports is meant to be guys playing until they're 45 or 50. It's not going to matter because that is what's going to continue to happen. It's only going to get better and better as it goes. But the point that PK made,
PK Subban,
was you have to, if you're asking fans to invest in what you're doing, you better invest what you're doing. And we can all tell when you're invested. Players know when other players aren't invested. Fans know when the players are not invested. And if you're not going to care, then you start getting resentment. And when you get resentment, you get apathy. And there is nothing worse in our business, in everybody's business, than someone being apathetic. Nothing. And I think we've seen that now in certain sports. And I think hockey re-illustrated, and I do believe, just listening a little bit on my way in this morning, I do believe hockey is going to, with what the success they had, I don't know what the number is going to be last night. It's going to be big as far as people watching it, especially from a hockey exhibition standpoint. Every commissioner is going to look at, every TV executive is going to look at this and say, how can we get that? And can you create that? And I do believe, as PK said, it has to come. If LeBron and Steph, and I give Steph credit, he put his effort out there. If your stars aren't going to do it, why would anybody else? It's just the same thing with whether it was Brett or Rodgers or whomever. When they're out there practicing and they're not 100%, you as a teammate look at it and say, I need to be out there. If your guys are out there doing it, the big stars are doing it, everybody else will do it too. And when your big stars are saying this isn't important, it doesn't matter if we compete, everybody else does, and that's why we're sitting in the position we are.
So that's what the LeBron angle was the other day when you brought that up. Okay. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line.
Do you think this will lead to more people watching the NHL?
I do.
I don't.
No?
No.
You think this is a one-off, a one-time event?
Big events. Listen, man, I love sports. I'll put my sports fandomness against anybody. I love big events. I think most people do. They don't want to miss out. I don't believe Edmonton playing Winnipeg next Tuesday is going to be, youngster, did you watch that Winnipeg game? It's just not going to be the same. Now, will more eyeballs and more people be interested? We say this every year about the playoffs. Oh, this is the best playoffs. And from a competition standpoint, I agree. But does that ever really translate down? I just remember everybody telling me soccer was going to take this country over. That ain't happening.
But there wasn't the type of success unless
World
you count
Cup Women's 99?
The Women's World Cup was one that you can point, and not just 99. I mean, that was the start of it, but they've had a run where they've been a dynasty in the World Cup for every 4 years that they've had that thing. The U.S. is in the mix to win a championship.
Has that evolved itself into, outside of being in the Olympics, how much women's soccer are you watching?
It hasn't evolved the amount that I watch.
That's 26 years ago.
But I mean, we have seen women's professional leagues become a thing. There's been more talent that's evolved. So there has been growth in the game.
Sure.
It might not necessarily lead to drastic numbers like in the middle of the summer. Am I going to turn on CBS Sports Network or whatever has it to watch that particular game? No. But am I more aware of who those athletes are and when they are in the Olympics or in a World Cup? Am I going to tune in? I am more aware.
No, I don't think so.
And that's where I think the benefit is with hockey, because it is a novelty last night. USA versus Canada, same thing on Saturday night in this Four Nations face-off. It's playing for your country and the pride that the athletes had representing the front of their jersey in these games. Like, we've heard them all talk about how significant that was. So you don't get that same replicated pageantry when you're playing a Wednesday night Columbus versus Carolina game. Of course not. But did last night open up an opportunity for a casual fan who would not have otherwise watched the NHL All-Star game or any other NHL game to learn who either of the Tkachuk brothers are?
Yes, it did.
And so therefore,
then lead to you watching more Tkachuk?
When you get to the playoffs, it'll lead to more brand recognition for those players.
Okay.
You say, "Oh, I remember Tkachuk. He had the big goal for the U.S. in the Four Nations. Now he's playing for."
Listen, I am saying this was great.
Panthers or whoever.
Last night, it was great. It was great for hockey. It will help, no doubt. But I do want to just pause a little bit and act and stop this is going to springboard hockey to this level. It is going to. It was an awesome week, 10 days. For the sport of hockey, it was perfect. And I think every other league should look at it and figure out how can we replicate some aspect of what we saw last night. And great time for hockey. We'll see if that moves the needle down the road. I definitely think it will. I just don't think it's going to be the monster spike that some people think.
We're getting some text on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talking text line on this, so we will keep talking hockey if that's what everybody wants to talk about. I'm good with it.
Klinkster tweeted at me last night. And
big night last night.
I was not listen, man. I bleed American. I want to see America win. I wasn't that mad that the U.S. got beat. I wanted to see him win, but the way it played out, just how the competition. We had so many looks to win in overtime. I just loved the absolute the way they left it out there. I just appreciated the competition. I was bummed. I would have worn, if I had good USA gear, I would have rocked it today. But kudos to everybody involved. Well done by everybody that organized and executed. Just a fantastic 10 days of hockey.
I don't think we'll have to wait 6 years for the next time the U.S. and Canada play a competitive hockey game.
There's an Olympics next year.
Right, but we don't know for sure that they're going to play it. I think it's pretty likely we'll get that matchup at some point. Point being, you can wait 6 years before paying any interest when you go with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And Jesse just crushed it. You're right. You're not going to have to wait 6 years, but you can accomplish quite a bit in 6 years. You know what? You can get a new furnace. You can go from changing diapers. Jesse, what do you think your life will look like in 6 years?
It's gonna be
2
different.
Kids? What do you think?
Hopefully no more broken furnaces.
Yeah, you're going to get a new
much.
furnace. That'll be warranty for 10.
Yeah, there might be some additions in the home, I would say, by then.
Okay, we're not asking for any breaking news today. But
there is none, I will say that.
You can go from
no worries, Mom. We're good.
What would it take for you to break that news on here with your mom listening rather than telling, we'll talk about that later?
Guest hosting,
nonetheless. You can go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree, and you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella Windows and Doors at 0 interest. That's 72 months with no interest. Plus, you get that 10-year labor warranty that is always included, so your windows and doors are secure for years to come. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends March 8th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Appreciate the responses we're getting on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. List is more, 844-770-3776, and maybe even a dweller comment or two on the YouTube channel. Since I'm in this chair, I might read on behalf of Jason, who is scheduled to appear, by the way, about 15 minutes from right now. So don't go anywhere. Jason Wilde coming up. More hockey talk after the big All-Star exhibition last night. The Four Nations face-off. That's straight ahead on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The Green and Gold Championship window is on the clock.
To me, their window is now wide open. From here on out, they have the opportunity to get to the Super Bowl.
The countdown to the NFL draft in Green Bay is on.
Goody has to start figuring out his first-round draft picks. Goody's inability to nail the first-round draft pick is what is keeping this team from being a true Super Bowl contender.
Green and Gold off-season talk right here. 94.5 ESPN and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
I'm excited about it. You know, these cutting edge things that are new in medicine now, I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics. It works.
Henry Hinton decided to check out QC Kinetics regenerative treatments for his aching knees after seeing a close friend have amazing results without going under the knife.
I have a friend that started this, which is one of the reasons that I decided to do it. He could not play golf anymore, and he went to QC Kinetics and started having the treatments, and he's back golfing like 3 days a week. He couldn't play at all.
QC Kinetics gets you back to doing what you love, using your own natural biologics to help heal and restore damaged joints. Long-term relief that puts a guy back on the golf course.
You know, I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference. QC Kinetics works. I'm excited about it.
You're next. Start with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And
That's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans, for your game day compatriots and your personal cheerleaders, for all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call Eric Pearson. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiac Planning Marquette basketball greatest scorers. Tony Smith, he had crazy numbers. In 87 as a freshman, 8 points per game, 8. And yet his senior year, it tripled to 24 a game. Smith's average for many years was the highest single-season scoring average in Marquette history. And he scored 44 against Wisconsin. And 2 weeks later, 43 against Butler. Think. 87 in 2 games, when as a freshman, he scored 234 in an entire season.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Were you asleep yet? Were you asleep yet when this happened?
Maybe.
So when we scored our second goal.
No, I was awake for the second goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember Freebird jamming?
Yes.
How blanket cool was that?
It was very cool.
That was sick. Yes. Yes,
it was very cool. Like, there were amazing moments from the Four Nations Face-Off Championship last night. Jesse and Tausch today.
I just don't know
Willie and
how you
Tausch.
could get an exhibition that people care about to that degree. I just don't. Outside of patriotism and just compete, I don't know.
You
it's
essentially
hard.
need to replicate the Olympics, is what you need to do.
go. Like, the NBA has such an easy out here. It's so
They
easy.
do.
There's already a lot of animosity between foreign-born guys and just Americans, and that would do it. And you go ahead, take a beat, take 10 days and do like a best of 3, and you do that 1 year overseas. And I know it's a strain for the players. You don't think this was a strain for these guys? We got one guy that's missing time, couldn't even play. Another guy's bleeding out. Like, it is what it is. Yes, I get it.
The attention it brings to the sport, the revenue it's going to bring for the TV product that was presented over these 7 days, like, for sure the NBA would covet that, especially going into a year where I think NBC has the All-Star game next year. First time, at least in a long time, first time that they've had it. So
can you imagine playing in Greece, the U.S. versus the
international
Giannis
team, the world,
or in Serbia,
yeah,
with Luka Doncic,
or in France, or in London, or wherever you want to play it. Right?
Would be awesome.
Couple of texts coming into the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talking text line.
And we could watch the other one would be at Fiserv when they play America.
Exactly, yes. Jim in the Berg has 2 texts here that I want to read. So first, he says, let's compare the All-Star breaks for the main major league sports. Is there anything better than what we saw from the NHL?
No.
Tausch says never in the history of it. We have NFL players jumping in foam pits, NBA players dribbling around the little obstacles, and baseball
cheating cheating shots.
And baseball players going through a marathon hitting dingers. The game last night is what every All-Star break should look like, says Jim in the Berg.
Well, it's probably unfair to ask that level of intensity in that. It shouldn't be, but I get it. You're talking about the best. The only thing I can even think that's close, and this is going to go back into the Dallas and
oh God,
J.R. Ewing and Splash, but Charlie Hustle breaking at catcher in half in an All-Star game. Now, I think that's probably a bridge too far. You got Sean Taylor killing that
Pete
punter.
Rose All-Star performance.
Yeah, Charlie Hustle did it, and that's what we're talking about, though. And that's to that degree, to have that over a course of a couple of games is pretty intense, and I just don't think that's probably not fair to ask.
Jim goes on to say in a separate text, I agree with Tausch, which is always a great way to get your
Great
text
way to start. Yep.
This will not drive up NHL viewership. Regular season NHL games aren't nearly as exciting as USA versus Canada
if
hockey.
you like hockey, they're really good, but hockey is an acquired taste.
What else do we have here? Mike and Madison, NHL All-Star Game at Old Chicago Stadium during the Gulf War, 1991, I think this was.
Okay.
Which is the year I was born, when fans cheered the entire time, which led to the tradition today in Chicago of cheering through the national anthem. Flags were all over the place. He says that's the other comparable All-Star
I will
event.
take his word for that.
Keep coming with if you have any other All-Star events that match what the NHL product was here this week with the Four Nation Face-Off.
And Jordan in the dunk contest.
So again, I don't
you
know
weren't
that,
born yet.
but I have heard the stories and I've seen the videos of the Dominique Wilkins dunk contest
Yes,
and how
that
legendary
level
those
of
were.
compete was fantastic. And again, who was setting the tone for that? MJ. Dominique.
The Klinkster chimes in the YouTube comments. So this is his domain, the Klinkster, up in Canada. The Four Nations tournament will give a bump to people watching hockey, much like there's a bump when watching curling in the Olympics.
I don't know if that's a selling point.
Well, I mean, it's not, but think about the Olympics. When you do have, and we'll think of the Winter Games because we're in that time of the year. When you see bobsled and curling and skiing, there is always a jump in membership in the coming year for those sports after the Olympics. And then it kind of diminishes, and then it comes back into the cycle. And like you think Matt Hamilton only competes in curling 3 weeks out of a 4-year span.
I did think that was the case. And then I saw his work schedule, and I figured that's definitely not the case.
The entire tournament was awesome, says Mike on YouTube. I would love to see them bring it back during non-Olympic years. I think that's kind of their plan to do this every other year. Do you foresee the change happening as early as next year where hockey tries to replicate this as much as they can?
No, I think next year they're going to play in the Olympics.
Well, yeah, okay. So the Olympics is the All-Star break next
every other year. They have the Olympics, the World Cup of Hockey on alternating years, and then I think their plan is to do the Four Nations face-off in between those, so to get international play every year.
I guess I haven't seen that. Has hockey just eliminated what they had previously done as an all-star event? Is this now essentially their all-star weekend
I'm guessing
when they
with
do
the
it?
success that they've had, yeah, I would think so. The only thing that I thought was weird, I love the movie Miracle. Yeah, a lot of Wisconsin folks in that. They had Urizioni out there last night doing the thing, and we were not underdogs like that.
Nope.
I get it, but we're acting like taking on Canada was us versus the Soviets in '80. What are we doing? And then I see they're giving the speech, and then they show, they pan in, and old boy's got I'm not going to say what credit card company, but something tells me back at Lake Placid, they weren't selling credit cards as old Herb Brooks is sitting there telling boys to skate.
Kurt Russell playing Herb Brooks.
Yeah, then you know what? You get 0%. You get 2% cash back if you get this goal. Pretty good little spot there by that credit card company. But the whole thing was just
mom telling us about the 2%.
We are not. This was not Lake Placid, and I love the hype up. There's a lot of stuff that was good, but I just thought it was really, really interesting that Herb Brooks is talking, and then you got the Kachuk brothers talking about who gets better credit card benefits on their cashback program.
Who's got the better credit score?
Boy, I get 3% cashback on yours. Well, I get access to all these VIP airport lounges.
I get free travel miles for every guy knocked down.
Tausch, would you say the United States was dreaming fearlessly last night?
I'll say this. The American Family Insurance Dream Draft Sweepstakes is going to be fun. It is your chance to win a VIP trip to the NFL Draft in Green Bay. Close your eyes and imagine this.
Close your eyes, Riley.
You and a guest score exclusive tickets. Those are really tough to get for the draft. Hotel accommodations are impossible. Customized merchandise and much, much more.
Wow.
Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Head over to amfam.com/Packers to enter today. No purchase is necessary. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
So Jason Wilde is scheduled to appear coming up in just a minute. We have a couple of things to follow up with him on. Number one, any Packers conversation you would like to have so that we make sure we check that box for the day today. Number two, did he actually watch any of the Four Nations face-off like he said he would after Tony Granato convinced him to in a clip that went around on social media? Also, you wanted to bring something up about pull tabs yesterday. We haven't gotten to that yet. I don't know if we'll do that with Jason or somebody else, but regardless, Jason Wilde is scheduled to appear coming up next on his own show. Don't miss it. It's Wilde and Tausch.
It's a star-studded showdown in the Mile High City.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Get up, Marquette Nation.
He lobs for Lowry.
Launch to launch. The Launch Brothers.
That might
connected.
Be, yes.
Tonight, it's 16th ranked Marquette on the road against Villanova. Our game day coverage starts at 5:30 with Brian D. and the Marquette Sports Network pregame show. Tip-off with Homer and Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith gets started at 6 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is your official home for Marquette basketball. We are Marquette.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
The new year is here, and we all know it's the perfect time to hit the reset button. Let's be real, guys. Feeling confident in how you look and feel isn't just for women. That's where Quintessa Aesthetic Center comes in. From now through March 31st, Quintessa is offering exclusive packages to help you start 2025 as a more confident you. Whether it's weight loss plans or even IV therapy, Quintessa has personalized options backed by medical experts to help you look and feel your absolute best. Visit myquintessa.com to learn more. Make 2025 the year you feel confident inside and out.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Relaxed. I feel it coming, but I'm holding it back. I'm on the edge, but I never attack. I'm straight off the moment, but I still come
Wilde and Tausch with Wilde. This is fun.
There's a lot of pressure on him when he's a guest.
Joining his own
deliver
show
the goods
with his own bump music selected. It is,
and he did a little drawing.
The host of Weekly Wilde with Alex
Outstanding
Stroh.
Glock management, he says there
On the ESPN Milwaukee
it says Glock.
YouTube
Oh,
channel.
it's a C. Come on. You don't do that. That's
Doesn't
clearly
that look like a
C.
G?
Clearly
It does look like
That's
a G.
not. That's a very curled up
The
C.
second
No,
C looks
look
like
at
a
the
C.
G in management. Very different.
But look at the C in Ock, and it's very different than the Glock.
All right, this is going well. Jason Wilde, the host of Weekly Wilde with Alex Stroh on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. You hear him you read him
Wilde.
in the Wisconsin State Journal. He joins Wilde and Tausch. Jason, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, read me in the Wisconsin State Journal Sunday. Sunday is going to be the last time you'll read me in the Wisconsin State Journal.
Oh, breaking news!
What?
Tell me more.
You'll find out more.
Find
out more on Monday.
Will this be like a?
No, it will not be a farewell piece. It'll be about Brian Gutekunst having all kinds of salary cap space to work with.
You keep the main thing the main thing. Never make it about yourself.
Not about me.
Even though you've sweated and bled and sacrificed and done everything for that publication.
I have. But I've got a new venture that's kicking off on Monday, so I'm really excited about that.
Are you going to
Jesse's face?
Are you
Jesse's
teasing that
face
for?
is amazing right now.
Are you
by the
teasing
way.
that for Monday? Or are you teasing that for today?
No, I'm teasing that for Monday. It'll be
so where will you report that? Which show? Because you won't do it here.
This is very
ours.
The
Our show.
Oh, you will.
It will be right here on our show. I will make that announcement. But yes, there's been some changes at the newspaper. The morning newspaper in Madison, and I've got a new opportunity that I am super excited about. All I'll say is this.
Only Alex Stroh is my question.
It is not with Alex Stroh. No, that's definitely
How about
not.
with Riley? Everything you write has to be quilled. Is that part of it?
I just had a great conversation with Riley in the break, but no, he's not involved either. I will share more. I will just... having been around so many players for so many years, one of my favorite lines, and I will use it here, is when a guy joins the Packers or he comes, he joins another team and people are asking him about the Packers not bringing him back. I always loved the line, "I'm not here to prove them wrong. I'm here to prove us right." And so
But
I want
that's
to
from
make
a
sure.
non-petty person.
Yeah,
a petty
that's
person,
true.
Jason, let's just call it what it is. A petty person would never say that.
Yeah.
They might say it, but they would never mean it. You get what I'm saying?
In this instance, I know this will come as a surprise to you given my track record
on, Kyle
of
and Tom
holding
and the King. Don't be telling me you're all of a sudden lost your pettiness. Don't
holding
lie
grudges.
to us.
I will just say this. I have made decisions in my career to try and help keep newspapers surviving and thriving. I'm disappointed that it didn't necessarily pay off long term, but I still want the paper to succeed. I still think journalism is extremely important. They are facing some challenges financially, as are all newspapers, so I'm not out to bury them, or I don't want to see them fail. I want them to succeed without me, but I'm really excited about this next opportunity. I think it's going to be really, really cool, involving some people that I think really highly of, and I can't wait to get started, but I do not wish them any ill will. I just
maybe a little bit.
I just wish
Tom Petty.
I just wish it would have played out a little bit differently.
Is that why Tom Petty was playing when you came back on?
That's first of all not.
Well, it was Kyle Petty.
That's Matchbox 20.
Kirk Petty. Kirk Gowdy.
Kirk Penny, who was trying
Kurt
to get away
Russell.
from the swimming and the water parks and suddenly discovered a new offense for Badger
Jason,
basketball.
first off, thank you for breaking that news on our show.
Of course this would happen
I
when
think
he
it's
appears as a
ridiculous.
guest.
Just for the record, and I'm not speaking
One of
for
my
you.
best, Jesse.
I think it's ridiculous. I think this whole that part of it. You have done, for as much as I give you grief, you have done great work. You're a huge part of the Packers from my career standpoint. You're scribing, you and Oatsy and the whole crew in covering the Green Bay Packers, and now I think it is a big misstep, but that's just my own opinion. We are excited for your next horizons. I'm betting you're going to crush it and hopefully bring some of whatever you're doing to this show.
I hope
I'll try to do that.
I really
But
hope.
let's be honest though. I ain't buying your lack of pettiness for a second. Oh, I just hope that they're going to be really good. I hope that it goes really good. Yeah. So to put a bow on this, because you do this to me all the time.
That'd be great.
I did not retire. The league retired me.
Yeah.
How would you say your Sunday? Is this a retirement or a being retired?
So I think it's most instructive to go back to 2009 when I was covering you as a player.
Okay.
And the Wisconsin State Journal was, even back then, there were some other financial challenges. Look, again, I can't emphasize this enough, especially in today's climate. Regardless of how you feel about the mainstream media, regardless how you feel about me or where you land politically, journalism does matter. And you can disagree with me, and I'm sure there's some folks on the YouTube roundtable that disagree with me, but it does matter. It is important. And your dad, in addition to having a farm, was also a journalist. And so I know you understand that that's important to me. I understand. But...
Okay.
Here's the thing.
I don't think anybody was saying Denny T and Morley Safer, but I understand what you're saying.
Just let him do his
I'm letting
thing.
him go. He called me out on my. I did a quiet facial reaction. I didn't say anything. There was no interruption.
We are a TV show,
he interrupted
remember.
my facial deal.
Yeah. So anyway, they did a round of buyouts, and how I left the first time from the State Journal, I accepted one of the buyouts. I don't think they expected that. And we started ESPNWisconsin.com, and I covered a preseason game in Nashville against the Titans as my last assignment for the State Journal, and the very next day we launched our new website, ESPNMilwaukee.com and ESPNMadison.com. There will be a similar transition. I will not miss a day of work, which is something that I'm really proud of. I'm very, I'm a grinder. I don't know if you've
even
heard
when
that.
you
You're
take off,
welcome for my service.
It's an amazing.
Even when I'm off, I'm here. Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly. So again, I'll have details for you on Monday. But the bottom line is, first of all, I want to thank you, because when I first got this news, which one of my favorite Ted Thompson stories is him talking about how he was cut the final year in the league. So he had made the 53-man roster for the Oilers for an 11th season. And then I got to go back and look, because I know I wrote about this. The second-round pick had been holding out, and he signed his contract. And so they needed a roster spot. And so Bum Phillips and the linebackers coach and the defensive, everyone calls Ted into their office individually. And Ted, in his classic Southern drawl, said, by the time they were done, I thought I was getting a raise. And instead, he was being released. And so I got a phone call about a month ago telling me that it's not you, it's us. We're going to not cover the Packers. And so it was devastating.
That's
and
the
you were
opposite of Wilde and Tausch. You guys only cover the Packers, and we decide we're not going to cover the Packers. That's an interesting model.
So they're going to focus on their Badgers coverage. But
Okay.
I would just say this, that you were one of the only people I called. You know I'm bad at secrets, but I kept this under wraps. There were only a handful of people that I told about this, and you were extremely supportive, and you gave me a good pep talk about how, this opens up a host of possibilities and opportunities, which I was certainly not thinking that way after I got the news. So I'm thankful to be teammates with you and Jesse and Riley and everyone. And I would just say this, and then we can move on. There's a lot of good people at the Wisconsin State Journal who that is their sole job. And if somebody was going to lose their gig, I would prefer it to be me, because I have a full-time job. And so I'm glad that there are some other reporters that I don't know what would have happened had they gone another direction. So I'm okay with this. I'm really lucky to have an exciting opportunity that they're going to do all the things that I would have liked to have seen done previously, and we're going to really crush it. And I'm really excited about the people I'm going to get to work with, in addition to the teammates that I have here. So I look forward to that starting. We're going to talk about that on Monday when it happens. But for now...
So what'd you write about today in the State Journal? What do you what, Jason, what do you want to talk about?
Preview some history here. What's your last article?
Besides that, I know your biggest regret as a article writer, and I'm not unlike you, where you constantly bring up 4th and 26, or you bring up Balaga's game against what's his face. I'm not going to bring up your lack of empathy on concussions with what's his face. I won't do that to you.
I regret that. No doubt.
No, Jason. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do that.
You're not saying. You're just saying.
What is your favorite? Let's go down old memory lane.
This is what this is turning into, isn't it?
What is your that's breaking news.
It is. Yes.
You got the sports right of the year.
Imagine how
a new venture.
I didn't know this. I know where I stand.
I'll tell you what.
Jason.
You can say a lot about me. I keep a secret like nobody's business.
You can. It's amazing. No doubt about it.
I put on the rundown. I think I'm just having fun here, introducing him as he writes in the State Journal and he does the weekly show.
Good thing you don't have this on Monday. You'd have to scrap that. So, Jason, what is your favorite of all your 30 years? And I know there's a little break in there. What's your favorite that you wrote?
So, first of all, this is awkward because you're on the show, and I chose to do a show with you.
I was going to say, please leave me out of it so it's not awkward.
No Tausch answers allowed.
So to avoid that awkwardness, much like you weren't saying about my regrets about concussions, I am not saying that telling your life story and basically being the author of your autobiography for Sarah is not the number one thing. I've gotten to write literally tens of thousands of stories in the last 30 years. So choosing one is really hard. But I think during my 1 year at ESPN.com, I told Andy Gruber's story to a much wider audience than people had known.
That was a great story.
And my understanding is that was upward of a million reads on ESPN.com. And to share Andy's story, who is one of the, I've always said this about Lambeau Field, and I believe it. Yes, it's a historic venue, and yes, there are the 13 world championships, and there's been incredible players and coaches and general managers that have come through there and done great things from a football perspective. But I've always believed that Lambeau Field is about the people. And whether it's Andy and Red and those guys in the equipment room, or Flea and Nate and all the guys that help you guys play every week, or Marge in the sewing room.
Love Marge.
Or Lisa in the pro shop. Like it really is about the people more than anything else. And so getting to tell Andy's story back in 2015 or 16, that stands alone. Now, I will say this, the story for the State Journal that is my favorite of all time is in the preview for the 2007 season. So going into the third year of Ted Thompson as the general manager, people hated Ted. I mean, fans, they did not like that he drafted Aaron Rodgers. They did not like that he believed in draft and develop. That 4-12, best 4-12 team in NFL history in 2005. 2006, Mike McCarthy, after he hires the guy who had the worst offense in the league with the San Francisco 49ers, and they go 8-8 in that season with you. There were a lot of people that thought Ted Thompson didn't know his from his elbow. And there was a lot of vitriol in his direction. And I think it's one of the rare times, and again, I don't think I brag about much, but I do think I'm pretty good with people. And getting Ted and his sister and his brother and his former teammates to talk about him and to be able to have the chance to tell his life story and hope that people understood him a little bit better and appreciated him a little bit better. And then that team that you were on unexpectedly goes 13-3 and is a Brett Favre overtime interception away from a Super Bowl berth that year. I'll always cherish that. Ted was frustrating to cover at times because he didn't want to tell us anything. I enjoyed the challenge, the jousting of trying to get him to say something he didn't want to say. But I've always wanted people to understand what a truly good and decent and honest man he was. And so while I love Ron Wolf, who was incredible to me and remains a friend to this day, and Mike Holmgren and Mike Sherman and Mike McCarthy and all those guys, I always have a soft spot for Ted. And it's largely because I think most of his career he was unappreciated. And you guys win that Super Bowl championship in 2010, and by 2 years later, people are frustrated with Ted again. He didn't get a whole lot of grace from a lot of the fan base, not all of it. But so those would be the two that stand out. And I plan on doing this for a really, really long time. So there's lots of stories still to be told.
There you go.
Any other questions for our guests that you're
I thought this was his best appearance.
Today?
He's vulnerable. He's sharing. He's giving us the news. Well done.
Yep.
WD. Yep. All right, Jason.
I'm speechless. I don't know what happened here.
Go and enjoy your last weekend. And I don't know what Sunday's going to feel like, but Monday will be. We're all excited for you to share your next venture. In addition to Wilde and Tausch on Monday, and the floor is yours. Finally, Jason Wilde's going to take the Open on Monday morning, which is probably what excites me the most. Jason, have a great weekend.
I do hope people weren't tuning in thinking he's not doing this show anymore and moving on from it at some point.
No, I'll be here Monday.
I just want to make sure we're clear on that if you're just joining us.
Sorry, Jesse, we'll have to wait for you to get your own show at a different time. I'm not giving up my seat.
Riley just pulled it up. There's a lot of banter. And speculation.
This is like when Rogers said he wanted to leave, where he's going.
Is Jason going to the Athletic? Oh, newspapers are destroyed. Oh, the State Journal sucks. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. If you want, go ahead. I know you love being in the dwellings. Jump in there, Wilde.
We're gonna go see the girl's great grandpa, who again,
get out of here. Take the rest of your day, Jason.
Old.
We appreciate you. You got anything from Steinhafels you want to talk about, or you want to just?
As a matter of fact, I do. By the way, not the Athletic. Matt Steinman does a fantastic job over there. They don't need me. They are just fine without me. But I've got something much more exciting that I can't wait to get started. So
very teasing. Look at you teasing, breaking news.
I've been taught well. Is
what
this
a sleeper of a day today has been?
I'm just curious. Is this a new record for longest tease? Because it's going to span the weekend from 9:55 on Friday.
I feel like I've done almost a 10-day tease at some point.
Well, I'm not teasing when I tell you that Steinhafels is celebrating the grand opening of its Orland Park furniture and mattress showroom with its biggest President's Day sale yet, and it has now been extended. There's some breaking news for you. Get amazing deals on living room, dining, bedroom, home office furniture, and more. Plus, take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month, 0% financing. Shop Steinhafels' extended President's Day sale in-store and online at steinhafels.com.
Thanks, Jason.
Also, I would re-sign Tucker Kraft, Zach Tom, and Dontavion Wicks and Jaden Reed. I think those two are going to be number one and number two.
I know we didn't talk any Packers. The correct answer is there's only two. That was the trick.
And as you know, Jason, sometimes tough financial decisions need to be made.
Jeez.
I'll tell you what. As zingers go, that was really good, Jesse. Well done. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your show. Take care. Be good.
That is Jason Wilde, breaking news, appearing on Wilde and Tausch.
I don't know how that works. Do you get to file? Because I don't think when I got fired, and I know Jason didn't get fired. I don't know exactly how it all works. I'll let Jason finish that. Do you get to file? How long is unemployment and all that go?
I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
Knock on wood, huh?
Yes, definitely. I cannot speak to any knowledge of how that works.
Okay. Hey, let's go. Let's get the break. Come on, clock management. Let's go. Jason, put that out there. Let's go.
Love that you guys got to the Packers talk 18 minutes into the segment.
Jason opened his soul. What do you want us to do? Hey, what do you think about the left guard spot? It's my last weekend as a State Journal writer. Yeah, okay, that's great. But what about the safety spot? No, you have to cut. We need probably a little depth there, don't we, Jason? Is that what you wanted, youngster?
Jason's
Yes.
future and Evan Williams coming up next on Wilde and Tausch.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Bucks fans, join us for our 414 All Nights, a celebration of our diverse fan base where we showcase fan stories and highlight their unique and impactful contributions to our community. Come for the amazing Bucks basketball action. Stay for the recognition of our amazing fan base at our 414 All Nights, where diversity is embraced and every fan is celebrated. Go to bucks.com/impact for dates and details.
Show the world what your business is made of with 3 Tree Marketing.
So at 3 Tree, we're storytellers through merchandise. Every brand we work with has a unique story, and we're there to tell it using merchandise, display, appreciation, and gifting.
President Kevin Van Rossum knows that's important.
There's promo peddlers again, or tchotchke vendors, or whatever cliche people want to use. But we work with our client partners to become an extension of their team. We provide ideas, unique offerings that fit budget, timing, as well as messaging.
Check out why 3 Tree is the partner you need. 3treemarketing.com. UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Brown Deer High School's Amira Grant. The star for the Brown Deer's girls basketball squad, Grant is having an incredible season. 4 50-point performances this season for the Falcons, all coming within the last month. The senior guard leads the state in scoring at over 40 points per game, and at all time sits top 5 for Wisconsin. Grant will continue her athletic and academic career at the Division I level next season, with the offers starting to pile up. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Amira Grant from Brown Deer High School.
Food's here at Quick Trip, and it's ready when you are. Hungry and on the go? How about a corn dog? Crispy, golden cornmeal batter coating around a juicy hot dog. So delicious. Craving pizza? Quick Trip's Pothole Pizza is just what you need. Thin, crispy crust and a savory sauce, piled high with a blend of cheese. Food's here. Fuel up at your one-stop shop for snacks and meals that hit the spot. Only at Quick Trip.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Wilde and Tausch. It's Jesse and Tausch. Jason Wilde still does have his full-time job as the host of this radio show. I just want to clarify that now.
I advised him to stay on, yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's great advising by you. But we did learn in his appearance a few minutes ago that his final Wisconsin State Journal article will be published this Sunday.
I don't know if I'm 29 years in. I know there's a little break. I don't know how many years there was a break, 5 or 6 or 4. But if you're 25 years in somewhere, I think I'm making it about me. Your last article?
But he is going to be writing somewhere else,
but not for that publication.
Right.
He grew up here.
But, like, you don't do like Derek Jeter doesn't do a retirement tour with the Yankees if he's going to play the next year for another team. You only do it when you're like, if he was stepping away from writing entirely.
Fair point.
I feel like it could be on the State Journal then. That to acknowledge, release a statement thanking Jason.
So you're
for
putting it on the SJ.
Yeah.
Not on the J-Dub.
They should be giving him a gift basket on the way out. Yeah.
It's like the team's social media team releasing the thank you video and whatnot.
Do you think they give him a free script?
What do you give?
What do you give him? He gave you 25 years of your life. What do you think they give him?
I mean, ironically,
like a watch,
a quill pen, like a very fancy, like decorative kind of thing.
I'd be cool with that.
Typewriter.
I think they should give him a necklace with a typewriter. That'd be good. Do you think he started using typewriters? Like, is he that old?
Potentially.
Like, I know Oatsy did typewriters.
What are you saying about Oatsy?
Otsy's old. Oatsy was there forever.
I don't think Jason used it. What year did he start? 96? No.
Well, he was at the Badger Herald in the early 90s. That for sure was typewriter.
We'll have to ask him on Monday if he used a typewriter.
What if he's going back to the Badger Herald? What if that's what he's
back to his roots? Yeah.
Life is a full-on circle.
I am not going to ask for wrong answers only on the Cardinals ESPN Wisconsin Talking text line or in the YouTube comments.
Are you not going to, or are you not going to, but you are?
I am not going to ask wrong answers only. What is Jason's next venture as his side hustle to hosting Wilde and Tausch? I will not be asking that question.
You should.
Not me. Okay. Not at 844-770-3776. I am not going to ask that question. Less is more. We are going to talk Packers. Tausch still wants to talk pull tabs while Jason's not on the show because this is the crowd. I hear Riley's a big pull tab guy too. So This is the crowd to talk pull tabs. This is the only show in Wisconsin sports radio that is yet to discuss Mark Ananasio's comments from earlier this week. So I do want to make sure we do that.
I want to make sure they're clipped properly too. There was some conversation. So whatever that is, I want to make sure we're giving him full on transparency with what he said.
Great. I will have Riley get right on that. And we'll do that and other things coming up in the final 2 hours, Wilde and Tausch, including the 10 o'clock hour, which officially starts in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
This trade in acquiring Luka did not put the pressure on them, in my opinion, to win it all this year. It put the pressure on them to win it all at some point during the tenure of Luka as a Laker. And I think the focus of them has changed from you better win with LeBron, again, to you better win with Luka. Now, if LeBron is there for that, that's even better.
You're trying to take advantage of still having LeBron James on the team. So how could you not have urgency? We just can't assume that you're going to get the same version of LeBron James next year. I get it. It's only a year difference. But once you get on the other side of 40, them like dog years, bro. Like, we don't see many athletes have an opportunity to still be in the league, let alone playing at the level that LeBron James is. He's still one of the 10 greatest players in the world. So you want to be able to take advantage of being able to have 2 of those dudes on your team.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Jason Wilde joined us in the 9 o'clock hour. Catch up on that full conversation in the Wilde tab. Subscribe to the Wilde podcast, by the way, if you like Wilde. We don't talk about that enough on this show. There is an entire podcast.
We don't talk enough about Wilde?
There is an entire podcast feed.
What world are you living in? We just spent the whole hour talking about Wilde, his life, his writing.
I didn't say we don't talk enough about Wilde. There is an entire podcast dedicated.
Youngster, did you not feel like you just said we don't talk enough about Wilde?
We may have to check the tape on that.
Yeah, CTT.
All right, let's talk.
CTT.
What do you got on pull tabs?
So the other night, first off, I had an event last night. I just want to say what up to Matt. His wife came up, took a picture. Teacher out in Stoughton. Kudos to Matt. Want to make sure I promised I'd say hello. I'm telling you, if you want to get Old T's attention, just tell him you're a fan of the show. I was trying to give away gifts at this thing to a couple of our fans that were out. So, Matt. So I went to the game Tuesday night, as we discussed. I was out with my boy Tej and Hatch and Use and the whole crew.
The Badger basketball game.
So Hatch, we all know Hatch. He used to be a contributor to the show. He's mailed it in. Now he's a big star. He doesn't have time for us. He hadn't done anything for us in forever. Whatever. Okay, I'm not mad.
But he gave us Tom Hanks' best movies
during
and
it was
COVID
era. So I'm
multiple weeks of content.
I'm happy, but now I'm kind of irritated with him. He hadn't done anything. So here's the deal. We went into an establishment that serves birthday fish bowls. I'm not going to get into what that. I used to work there.
Could be anywhere.
I'm not going to say any names because that's not. It's not an ice
of
cream.
the jump around.
They do not do
What
ice
color
cream.
were these fish bowls?
Multiple. And I didn't realize they have pull tabs in there.
Of course they do.
What do you mean? Of course they do. I worked there for years. I didn't have no pull tabs in there. So, a couple of things. Pull tab or lotto ticket, which way you going? If you have your option, which way are you guys going?
Like a scratch off, you're saying?
Yes.
Well, they're different to me.
Well, no blank.
If I'm getting one,
if I ask you, do you want a cup of coffee or a cup of coffee? It's I don't know, probably a cup of coffee. They're going to be different. I want to ask you for a choice.
So I don't go to the grocery store or the gas station and go in and buy lottery tickets.
Okay.
I love when I get a scratch off as like a Christmas
so
gift.
That's
or
what I was going to
whatever.
ask you.
Yeah.
Youngster comes in today and he says, "Hey, Jesse, I got a pocket full of pull tabs or a pocket full." What's so funny?
Why does he have a trench coat when he's doing that?
Or a pocket full of lotto
selling
tickets.
Newspapers in the
Which
40s.
way are you going?
I'm going pull tabs. Pull tabs are more fun to play like right away
Youngster?
in person.
Yeah, if I have one lottery ticket, I'd rather have the lotto or the scratch off. But if we have multiple, pull tabs all day.
Okay.
But like a Christmas gift, I open up a little envelope, Merry Christmas, Jesse, and I get
lottery tickets.
Yeah, you get like
I don't love the fact lottery tickets. Here's the big difference to me. Pull tabs, they idiot-proof it. It puts win.
Yep.
Which I don't love. I want you to at least have some common knowledge.
Make me earn it a little
three
bit.
cherries or a grape combo, poo-poo platter, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like, are we really this idiotic? But okay, lottery tickets, because over Christmas, that's one of the things we do. We get those saran balls, and you unwind, and if the lottery ticket falls while it's your time, you get it.
Love it.
But you never really know. Like, unless it's playing blackjack on there, you never really know.
If you won the lottery ticket?
No, if you won on it. But there's times you don't know.
No, this happened to me and my family over Christmas.
I keep them and I just shove them into the deal. Hey, what do you got? And a lot of times it's like, oh, you got $6.
All right, hang on. There's a lot of ways we're going here. So first of all, you've been anti-lottery ticket.
Yes, I don't like the complexity of it.
Well, and a couple of months
and
ago,
now I
you
don't
told
like the simplicity of the pull tab.
Around the holidays, you shared a story where you found a lottery ticket that you had won from a year ago.
Yeah,
tried to go in and cash it. It was void,
which is insane.
You have been anti-scratch off since that experience.
100%, yes.
So just want to. There's a little bit of bias here when we have this conversation.
And with pull tabs, you cannot. Is it state or do you have to rectify the winnings at the establishment you're in?
I think it's by establishment.
I think you need to cash it at the establishment you're at. I don't think you need to do it
so
immediately.
So you cannot buy pull tabs and then take them to a Christmas party, and then if you go up to Eau Claire, you got to drive down to Madison to cash your pulls?
I don't know for sure. I want to state that for the record, but
if we have any pull tab experts, call Youngster at
844-770-3776.
There's got to be at least one.
We have to have a pull tab expert.
Pull tab Chad is going to be on line
Anyways,
one very soon.
Hatchie loved it. Like, it's fun, right? So you go, does anyone actually ever net out winning? So there was a young lady. Yeah, I'm sure you win in everything.
I do.
Well, you better. You got a $10,000 furnace you got to buy.
Sure do.
There's a young lady sitting at the establishment, and she was amazed at the pull tab deal. So Hatchie, being the super successful dude that he is.
What do you mean she was amazed by
She just was like, I've never done this. Which I think she fibbed and talked Hatchie into getting her pull tabs, which is genius, by the way. I got no problem with that.
Economic.
So she wins, and then she nicely hands us pull tabs. And the point is, you never go. You just go put it back in, and you just buy more pulls because the full process is just enjoying the pulling of the tab. You're not actually thinking about winning, because if that's the case, you're probably not going to win. I know you win in everything.
I do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You think pull tabs are some kind of
it's an entertainment only
scheme?
I don't think it's a pyramid scheme. I just don't think people win.
Oh, my gosh. Riley is getting a call about pull tabs. So 844-770-3776.
But the thing that blew our minds was she is then telling us, and again, I'm not going to name any other names other than Hatchie. She's then telling us that she keeps $3K in her underwear drawer. And I'm like, that's crazy town. You can't keep that much. I think everybody
what?
I think everybody throws a little stash away, right?
In the underwear drawer?
Now in a cashless society, which I hate, people have a little cash. That seems like a lot of cash to be keeping in an underwear drawer.
All right. So, hang on. Yes, it is most common.
So now, do I give Hatch credit for bringing content to the show again?
I think you have to.
I don't really.
I think you do.
I think Teej maybe bought. I don't want to make sure. They'll text me if Teej bought the tickets or if Hatch did, but continue.
Okay. So pull tabs are more about, like, I never sit at home thinking about pull tabs, being like, oh, man, when am I going to get my hands on that next tab? But when you're out at an establishment, like I'm out at a sports bar in Sun Prairie or downtown or wherever, and you see the pull tabs.
Every place sell pull tabs.
I think you need there's
pull tab licenses.
I'm sure there's a license of some type.
Does it go along with a liquor license?
Jerry, all right. Before Jesse finishes, I want you to sum this up. But Jerry, can you give us a little insight? Because I don't know a ton about
this. Is Jerry in the Prairie, I'm told.
One of the goats.
Claims to be a pull tab expert. Now, if we go back
Claims?
Why do you write? Because hang on a sec. Yesterday, Jim on the South Side.
He was a water main dude.
Had been a contributor to the show for years, and we had no idea he was the water main city of Milwaukee
people keep
expert.
a little something about themselves, a little undercover, and then they pound it out when we need it.
Jerry in the Prairie has been a major contributor.
Great trivia player.
Packers reactions.
One of the great trivia guys.
Trivia. Jerry, are you some type of pull tab expert?
So my brother used to own a bar, and one thing I can tell you is the pull tabs come in cases, and the bar owners have to buy, obviously these pull tabs by the case. Every case is guaranteed a certain amount of money given back to the pull tab buyers. So when you buy the case, you're guaranteed to make so much money on each case. So with that said, that tells me that, yes, you have to turn the pull tab into the bar that you bought it from.
Okay, so if you're going, so Jerry,
Yes.
if I'm coming out to the Prairie and you invite us out for Christmas dinner, I bring pull
It
tabs.
could just be a Saturday also. That's fine.
I bring pull tabs. You would then have to come, if I got them at an establishment in Sun Prairie, you would have to go from your prairie to another prairie to cash said pull tab.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say that if we were bar hopping and bought them at one bar and went to the next bar and pulled them, we'd have to go back to the other bar to even cash them in.
So do they put it on there where it's at? Because let's say you're doing a pub crawl and you're just ramping them up all night, and the next thing you know, you got a $250 winner, but you don't know which bar you're at. Does it say on the actual tab, or is it you're blank out of blank?
I believe they got serial numbers and stuff on them. I'm not sure how that works, but I just know that each box has so many winners, and with that, it doesn't make sense that you could go to a bar and get paid for it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I guess there is the chance that there's big lottery where you can cash it at all the different places that are part of that lottery system. I'm guessing maybe there is big pull tab where they have contracts at the different establishments, and maybe if you happen to go to a bar that sells the same brand of pull tab, you might be able to do it.
Jerry, before we let you go, because with trivia is coming up, can anybody get pull tabs, or do you have to be a licensed bar owner? How do you go about if, let's say Riley wanted to impress his date, and he buys a box of pull tabs. Can he get pull tabs in a box form, or does it have to be at an establishment?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't think Jerry was our best expert.
I saw Jesse roll his eyes I don't know if Jerry's...
I'm not an expert, but I knew something about it, but I didn't know everything about it.
You brought something to the table. Definitely take off the screen that he was an expert.
Not a pull tab expert.
Not expert. Pull tab. Not an aficionado. What would we say?
He's putting quotes in expert, which is even worse than
the
not
quoted
saying
expert's the worst. Jerry, thank you, buddy.
I almost called my brother first to make sure, and then called after. But
might have been the move. Yeah.
So I would say
you guys.
Go ahead,
you guys go from subject to subject pretty fast.
That's true.
If we could talk to Harry in the Prairie next, that would be great.
So I would rank in our expert level. Jerry's ahead of Scuba Chad
by a lot. Yes.
By a lot. But he's not ahead of Jimmy Watermain Southside.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
That's
Jerry.
Fair.
All right, take care, boys.
I'm not exactly sure what for, but thank you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if we learned really anything.
Not really. No.
I don't know who can buy pull tabs. I don't know.
I feel like we actually have more questions than answers now than we went into the conversation.
It's definitely
about pull
more
tabs.
quizzical. But
Rob in the YouTube chat said no license is required for pull tabs.
So if you happen to start dating just a pull tab junkie, you could get.
He's already selling
You can
them, though,
buy
in
a
his
big
trench
box
coat.
and just rip them. That could be like your welcome. Instead of bringing flowers, you bring a stack, like a floral bouquet of
Hey,
pull
sweetie,
tabs.
look what I got for us
Hon,
tonight.
I got you a little something. I know you told me not to, but I got you a little something.
Let him rip.
There's $7 whole in here.
But we got to go cash them at this one specific place if we win.
Interesting operation, no doubt.
You'd cash them to me if I bought them. She'd have to pay me.
There's got to be some kind of chain of command here that I'm missing.
Thanks to Jim in the YouTube comments, who points out the title of today's show on YouTube is Packers GM Brian Gutekunst bad at drafting, and here we are talking hockey, Jason's career, and pull tabs thus far. Yep, that's how it goes. Thank you, Jim. 844-770-3776. We still have questions about pull tabs. If you are a pull tab expert, or maybe more importantly, if you know a pull tab expert that could contribute to some of our questions here. 844-770-3776 is the Carbliss ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Lists is more. We will address some of the questions about Packers GM Brian Gutekunst in his history drafting, including the latest article up from Rob Domofsky over at ESPN.com. We'll get into that, or we'll talk more about pull tabs, whatever way you take us, next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The Green and Gold Championship window is on the clock.
To me, their window is now wide open. From here on out, they have the opportunity to get to the Super Bowl.
The countdown to the NFL draft in Green Bay is on.
Goody has to start figuring out his first-round draft picks. Goody's inability to nail the first-round draft pick is what is keeping this team from being a true Super Bowl contender.
Green and Gold off-season talk right here. 94.5 ESPN and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has 13 Milwaukee area branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Serious truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Food's here at Quick Trip, and it's ready when you are. Hungry and on the go? How about a corn dog? Crispy, golden cornmeal batter coating around a juicy hot dog. So delicious. Craving pizza? Quick Trip's Pothole Pizza is just what you need. Thin, crispy crust and a savory sauce, piled high with a blend of cheese. Food's here. Fuel up at your one-stop shop for snacks and meals that hit the spot. Only at Quick Trip.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Count your money.
Wilde and Tausch.
Sitting at the table.
We are getting answers on pull tabs little by little. All because Tausch was out with the fellas after the Badger game on Tuesday night.
Teej and Hatchie.
And the lady with $3,000 in the underwear drawer.
Yeah, I know he's stopped contributing to the show since he's become a big deal, but he just brings content. He's a content creator.
All right, so Riley, you took a phone call during the commercial break. He had to go, but who called and what did they say about pull tabs?
So Mark in Cedarburg said that he is, in fact, a true pull tab expert and that anyone can buy pull tabs. You don't need a license, nothing along those lines.
What does a box of pull tabs cost?
It's a good question. I'm going to have to look that up.
So Tausch Enterprises could go buy pull tabs, and you could just start selling, or Riley could go start selling pull tabs.
So if
anybody
I
can do
gave
it.
pull tabs for free to you, and then you could come back, am I liable to pay you? You hit two $250 ones, and I don't even charge you for it. Do I have to pay you $500?
That's what Mark insinuated. He said that.
What do you mean insinuated? He's an expert.
He said that if you buy them and you're just handing them out to people on the street, and they come back to you saying, "Hey, I won $5," you're the bank. You have to pay them out.
Wow.
So there seems to be a responsibility. If you buy the pull tabs and distribute them, you are the bank. You're responsible.
So I also have a text here from a 414. Unfortunately, don't have the name, but remember to give your name and where you're texting from if you want to be shouted out appropriately on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. List is more. This text says the pull tabs come from many of the same companies that the gambling machines come from at the different bars. So same thing with those. Those are sold out at those bars, but the profit from that, like it's a
I understand the gambling machines.
Yeah.
The pull tab game I don't get.
It's
because
the same as the
I don't
gambling
understand.
machine.
If I come and I give as a gift to you 100 pull tabs, and I buy the box from Amazon as our expert just called in, who are you going to get the money from? You're going to come back to Old T and say, "Hey, Old T." So you don't even know you get this gift. It could end up costing you thousands of dollars to be a pull tab, whatever I want to, entrepreneur. Right?
Yes, that I think is what we're saying.
Okay.
844-770-3776. Oh, we have a text from Jerry in the Prairie. Oh, boy.
He didn't like not being called an expert.
Well, you got to deliver the goods. Jerry in the Prairie. I called my brother. Anyone can buy and distribute or sell pull tabs. You just have to pay the tax on it. And the bar/person who sold the pull tab is the only one that can pay out on that pull tab. It's kept track of by the serial number on the tickets. So they know
who bought the actual tickets.
So pull tabs are us, sells to Tausch's bar. They know you
what
have.
A fascinating business, huh?
844-770-3776.
By the way, just as a disclaimer, play at your own risk. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not encouraging anyone to do that. Blah, 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 blah. I think that covers all.
So I did win the grand prize on a pull tab.
Of course you did.
On my birthday.
Leg of lamb. You actually played meat raffle pull tabs.
We have bought the pull tabs at the meat raffle. It can be a nice side gig while you're waiting in between rounds and they're selling all the new tickets. But we were out for my birthday in Sun Prairie. Watching, it was actually the day Wisconsin lost to Indiana last year, that awful early November day in Bloomington. So disappointing day for the Badgers, great day for Jesse. We went to the pull tabs, put $20 in. I ended up just pulled a couple open, and we were reading the front before pulling to have that element of surprise a little bit before you see win pop up. Had like 3 bananas or whatever it was. Grand prize, $250 in the pocket. I was like, this can't be real. I'd never seen anybody win a grand prize.
That's what they do. Unfortunately, Lenny on the street gave it to you. And then when you went to cash it, you couldn't get it from Len. That's the tricky part of polls.
He just paid the tax.
Riley, I saw you were on the phone. Is there another contributor? No, we do not. Okay, so we're done with pull tabs. Let's move on.
Thank God. This is what I always. This is why I'm always leery to bring these things up, because I know it gets. That's why I do it when Jason's not on the show, because he gets itchy and all scratchy. But before we get off this, and I'm going to tell you about Coors Light, Riley, the whole lottery thing, you said, it's easy. You just scan it on your phone to see if you won. That ain't easy.
Why not? Just open the app for the Wisconsin
so now
lottery.
I scratch off lottery tickets. I got to open an app to see if I won.
But is that easier than driving to a gas station to check if you won?
Not if I have to get gas.
You can just read the rules.
Not
and
if it's Monday and I want to get a full rotisserie chicken for $6.99. It's not. Okay.
Mitchell and Stoughton on the text line. I want to know when Mark, that's you,
Okay.
I want to know when Mark's going to start distributing to the loyal listeners. I'm sure his bank is plenty full.
How fun would that be?
Wilde and Tausch pull tabs?
Yeah, we could do a pull tab operation.
Customize already, get 3 Wildes. That's the grand prize.
Yeah. Who knows? I'm not telling you what Jason's up to next. This could be a part of his next venture.
Hey, we did just get an anonymous text from a 608 number on the Carbless Talk and Text line saying, I have no idea what pull tabs are. This is the perfect Wilde free topic from a Jaybird in Green Bay.
He ain't wrong. Jaybird ain't wrong.
Jaybird ain't wrong. Tausch, how many Coors Lights were consumed by your group while
we
the pull tabs
definitely
were?
cracked a Coors Light or two, and you know what? That's because we wanted to chill. And when I'm having a moment to chill, to go watch a Badger game, to go watch curling with the Ham Bones. I think that's coming on pretty soon. Or, Beaver Dam bowling. Coors Light is in my hand, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company at Golden, Colorado.
Brian Gutekunst, Packers conversation. I promise. Next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellerson, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a two-man scramble at TPC Scottsdale, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through February 28th. Your winter chance to play TPC Scottsdale awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. I have a question for you business owners. How do your books look? Are they ready for your tax return to be prepared? Did you and your accountant talk during the year and develop a plan to minimize your tax bill? Or does this sound like you? You can never get a hold of your CPA. Phone calls are not returned and questions are never answered. Your books are a mess and the bank account hasn't been reconciled since last year. You don't get any advice to help you run your business. That's not the case with the Neal Group. We are advocates and partners with our clients to help them grow. We like to work with you throughout the year to keep your books up to date so you run your business profitably. Are you ready to grow your business, improve cash flow, have less stress, and live a better life? We can help. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net to book a meeting and see if we can help. The first meeting is free. Don't wait, do it now. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives.
contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Tell me I'm a wreck. You say that I'm a mess. How could you expect anything less? You latched onto me, then cried how strong you were.
When Mark Tauscher tweets, we discuss on Wilde and Tausch whether Wilde's here or not. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason did join us in the 9 o'clock hour. You can find the full podcast on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, wherever you get it, and on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels, where we welcome everyone watching there as well. Tausch, you tweeted, which 3 current Packers players playing on rookie deals are you sure you want to pay and extend this offseason?
Yeah, I mentioned this yesterday, and this is one of those questions. I think it's really interesting because it lets you know what you feel about these players. And I have an idea of what Goody and that crew thinks, but I'm interested in what the fans think, because had we asked this last year, it would have been, oh, you got to pay Dobbs, maybe Watson, Reed, and as a registered Gutenator fan, Stan, whatever you want to call me, it's kind of eye-opening to me that with all that said, I think this is a very young, talented roster. I think Goody has done a really good job. But this season has had to make me reevaluate how good. This team this last season was good, not great. That's not what the Green Bay Packers are about. The Green Bay Packers are about championships and winning big games and 13-time world champs, title town, the whole bit. I can only come up with 2. Why I said 3 is because I wanted you to really think. And I know some guys are not extension eligible. Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft. There's some guys that you think about. I would not. What I've seen out of Jaden Reed right now, I'm not lock stock in that. There's only 2 guys that if I'm having to pay what the market will indicate that they have to do, there's only 2 guys on this whole group that are on rookie deals that I would do that with. Zach Tom is a no-brainer to me. I know he struggled in the last game. I am so not worried about Zach Tom. They're talking about moving him to Domofsky wants him to be a Hall of Fame center. Zach Tom is going to be a long-standing stud tackle. I'm not certain that he's going to stay at right tackle, but that's what I would do. I think Rasheed Walker, I want to see another year. I think Rasheed had a good, solid season. I think you want to make sure, and especially with Jordan Morgan, there's some issues there. You want to let that all kind of settle itself out. And then it's Tucker Kraft. It's Tucker Kraft. I will sign him tomorrow. He is exactly what I want on my football team. Outside of that, there's guys that I feel like will get there. But if I had to make that decision today, I only come up with 2. And I think that is an indicator that maybe I was premature.
Okay. So just to clarify what the question is here, because the way you pose this, it's not just asking, which 3 are your top 3 that you would sign to a long-term deal? You're saying which ones are the gotta have them, let's get extensions done because we don't want these guys leaving the building type guys.
Who are our core players we can't let leave?
Yeah.
Who are what the Giants did with Xavier McKinney? I don't want to see that.
Because I'm seeing several are saying Devontae Wyatt is one of the 3 that they would say in response to your tweet or on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talking text line. But with Devontae Wyatt, that he could be the 3rd guy after Zach Tom and Tucker Kraft, but I wouldn't classify him as a gotta keep him. He might just be, by default, guy on a rookie deal that you would keep if you were going to keep 3.
That's why I'm saying lock, stock, there is no doubt I'm keeping. I want to be proactive. I want to get this done. I think there's 2 guys as we sit here today. Now, things change quickly, and the Carl Brookses, Devontae Wyatt, Mike Quay Walker, they might go out and really showcase themselves with another year under their belt, and you say, let's do it. But typically what Green Bay will try to do with their guys they know, Elton Jenkins, Brian Bulaga, you can go through the list of City, TJ, guys you want to keep for a long period of time. You go get them early because yesterday's prices aren't going to be tomorrow's prices. You want to get it locked in so that when the cap goes up, it looks better. That financial stability, all of those things. I can only with certainty say I want 2 guys lock-stocked as we sit here. And that, to me, is probably a little bit of a, let me think more about all this young talent. Even though I still believe in a lot of it, it has not proven to the point yet that deserves a big boy extension.
And that kind of comes back to the conversation we had about the wide receivers all season long, that no one has emerged as a true number one. You're saying that overall draft picks in total, you're getting 2 guys that are kind of
There's
your
a lot of
tier
guys
ones.
that I think we like their trajectory. We would have loved to have seen a bigger jump. But I would say most of that came from the rookie class.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what's interesting, too, so Rob Domofsky has an article up at ESPNWisconsin.com that we'll probably dive further into when Jason returns here on Monday with us. But one of the things that Rob points out, he dives into the rookie class this year and assessing what went well, what didn't go well. And in the open of the article, he says, it would have been hard to imagine that Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst would let me just read verbatim. When last year's NFL draft
What were you doing?
I was trying to paraphrase, and then I was trying to quote it, and now I was just, my mind got confused. It was tough to read and paraphrase simultaneously, so I'm just going to read.
Boy, it certainly seems that way.
I got a little lost, I got to admit. I'm sorry. Would you like to read it here?
No,
I'll just hand you the computer.
I
You
also
can read it.
am not sitting there trying to give me a Cliff's Notes version of a thing you can only use 180 characters.
Well, I was going to read the third line of the thing, and then I realized that's not enough context, like Ananazio's quote we're going to get to give you what I actually wanted to say Domofsky said.
Okay,
here.
Jesse.
So, when last year's NFL draft concluded, says Rob Domofsky, Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst might have been content if someone told him 2 of his picks would garner all rookie honors, including 1 mention for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and a 3rd would be a regular starter. Yeah, that sounds pretty good for a draft. But it would have been hard to imagine that happening without any significant contributions from 3 of his first 5 draft picks.
All right, let's go through those.
So that's the mystery of Brian Gutekunst, and it's kind of the...
Jordan Morgan.
He's
saying not much, and injuries and things. I think he would have been platooning probably most of the season had he stayed healthy.
Edgerrin Cooper was big time.
Yep. Evan Williams, big time.
Javon Bullard was a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, I'd say he contributed.
You mentioned Jordan Morgan was 25th overall. Marshawn Lloyd was 88th overall.
Yep.
And Tyron Hopper was number 91 overall.
Okay.
And he was the one who was regularly part of the special teams unit. So, and then everybody else, not a lot to show for it. So, when you assess Goody, and you're talking about, okay, it's been a couple of years for some of these guys, and Tucker Kraft and Zach Tom are clearly 1-2 for guys you would want to prioritize extensions for this offseason. And then you're reviewing this most recent draft heading into this year in Green Bay and saying,
do you want
some
Quay?
productivity,
I mean, one of the
but not from the top.
One of the questions is Quay Walker, and there's decisions that have to be made 5th-year option with both him and Devontae Wyatt. I don't think anybody is super interested in saying he's our guy for the next 5 years today. Is anybody?
I'm not.
And now, especially with Edgerrin Cooper, I know you can never have enough good linebackers. You're going to have to pay really good money to keep Quay, would be my guess. And they don't feel like they're, I mean, if they're going to do it, they could do it. And they still can with, the 5th-year option. They could do that, but they get basically another year to see how that looks. And you're talking about 2 first-round picks that you feel good enough, but you don't feel, I don't think anyone is sitting here on the roof saying, you better get these guys locked up. I do believe Devontae Wyatt, he had some good glimpses. I know he was injured. I know he wasn't able to be consistent. That's the guy that I think if I'm asking, I need to see a monster jump. That's one of the guys I think we need to see it from.
mean, you say good enough. Like, there's a lot of guys, wide receivers, defensively, that players that Goody has drafted are good enough, but good enough doesn't get you Super Bowls. Good enough gets you the 7 seed. Good enough gets you in the dance, but it doesn't give you the best chance to bring home a Lombardi trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, but with that said, you have great players that you brought in via free agency and paid. And I do believe Goody is going to have to go big. I don't even know at what spot. You're going to have to make that one big Daryl Hannah play. And then everything else.
Splash.
What's the dude's name that Domofsky brought up last week? The Cowboy.
Odigazua.
Is it wrong for me? I'm not going to even go down. It's just hard to say. I'm glad he's not a Wisconsin.
Call him the Big O.
I'm glad he's not playing for the Badgers. Say, and that guy. Great play from the big fella.
Tucker Ashcraft.
That's a tough one. We have 2 guys right now that you feel that way about, and you need more of those guys. And I know there's plenty of talent. I'm not giving up on that. I think, again, I probably had too high of expectations for a team based off of how they played 5 or 6 weeks in a postseason run of last year. You still have to go through that process, and I think we all tried to skip a process. And when you do that, you're going to end up being disappointed.
And this is where this all comes full circle with the conversations we've had throughout the course of this week when you gave Wilde all the grief that you did about Zach Bond being on his list of things the Packers need to do this offseason. What positions do you trust that Goody will be able to address in free agency better than he would through the draft? Because in the YouTube comments on the text line all week long, people have said, we don't trust Goody drafting defensive players in the first round. For the most part, there have been a lot of misses there. There have been some successes, but there have been a lot of misses, especially in the secondary.
Well, is Quay Walker a miss?
I don't know yet.
No, he's not a miss.
I wouldn't say he's a miss, but he hasn't been a massive success. He's been fine.
Youngster?
He's been good enough, like you say.
Like a single, if we're going to compare it to baseball, like on base.
Yeah.
But
what about
nothing
Devontae
spectacular.
Wyatt?
Probably the same.
Maybe rounds first hard stretches it to a double.
Depends if it's in the gap or fumbled out in right center or not. Yeah.
Interesting way to look at it.
So I think, like, again, you said good enough, and I think that's how we look at a lot of these guys. Like right now, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, good enough. Not a true one, not a superstar, not a must-have kind of guy.
And I think you asked the question, that's the spot that I think is going to be easiest to address. It ain't easy finding stud pass rushers. It's just not. Guys don't let those guys walk out the building. You can get older players that you hope have some stuff left in the tank. I do think there's going to be a lot of veteran wide receivers now. There's some guys, like if Stephon Diggs comes available, I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it. If it's Cooper Kupp, if it's Devontae, I really would love to see Devontae. Outside of that, I am just not in the... I don't want old players. You know who else doesn't want old players? Goody. Old players in the NFL, there are exceptions to every rule. Usually when guys are going on their second or third team and it's an older player, you break down. It just is hard to keep getting off the mat. And it wears on you from an emotional standpoint. The injury, it's not that guys don't want to. It's they know that they can't consistently do what they need to do. And, again, there is exceptions to every rule. Devontae is not at that age. But some of these other guys, the Khalil Macks and some of these guys, it's tough. You get a little bit of a nagging injury where when you're 26, it doesn't linger for 5 weeks. It's a week or two. All of a sudden, it's 5 weeks, and then it's just more stuff gets in your head, and it's harder to get back out there. And then something else pops up, and it just is a recurring thing. So for as much as I respect these guys for what they're doing and they're putting themselves back out there, it gets to a certain point. If it's not your guys and you know kind of how they tick, it makes it really difficult to bring old players from other places into buildings and expect them to have big roles. It just doesn't usually work.
But when it does work, it's Charles Woodson and Julius
Charles
Peppers.
Woodson was not an old guy when he came here.
That's true. He was in his prime when he came here. That's
Julius
true.
Peppers is a freak. He's a freak show. Mm-hmm. And he's not one of those guys that was beat up. He just was more athletic, longer than everybody. And even with that, they had outs. It was, okay, kind of a wait-and-see deal, and he was a fantastic signing for Green Bay. It's an outlier. If you're banking on that, you typically end up being disappointed.
844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. We're going to review some of your responses to the plethora of topics that we've addressed, including the Packers rookies and who is deserving and a must priority that we just talked about for signing this offseason to an extension. Tausch, we're talking a lot about pull tabs earlier this hour. We're talking about all the great things and lottery tickets when you can go cash those. Among the other stops you can get them at Quick Trip.
I made a pit stop right here on East Wash. Grabbed me a cup of mud, threw a little gas in the tank because life's busy, and you know who gets it? Quick Trip. Whether you're craving fresh coffee like I was this morning, a tasty bakery treat, or a quick grab-and-go meal, Quick Trip is your go-to. And right now, I got those beautiful corn dogs, juicy and supple, coated and crispy,
supple dogs,
golden, delicious cornmeal batter. You can always grab ready-go pizzas, thin, crispy crust. They got those potholes there. It's a beautiful pie. You can also get a Quickery parfait, just $1.99. You can make dinner easy with those pizzas I just mentioned. You got taco meat and appetizers on sale. Mini tacos, cheese stuffed spuds, curds, and my favorite, the mozzie sticks. Starting to warm up, but they still got those big old bags of soup on sale for $6.99. Everything you got going. Roasted whole chicken on Mondays, $6.99. Download the Quick Rewards app. Take advantage of everything that Quick Trip has to offer. Order ahead for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
Tausch, is there a specific day where the mozzarella sticks are on sale?
I think it goes
every day. I think
till
the appetizers
I think it goes till March 10th.
It's into March sometime, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, it's just a good.
Sticks,
yeah, they're just
mod
great.
sticks are fantastic.
They are really good. They are really good.
No, I think they're in a little hot spot. The tricky part is you got to time it up.
Yep.
And, if you go during peak hours, but you just go ask, they'll fire those bad boys up, get them to you in a couple minutes.
Get yourself a supple dog to go with those mozzie sticks. We'll get to your thoughts on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
Be the MVP of gift giving with a Milwaukee Bucks gift card. From exhilarating Bucks experiences to unforgettable Fiserv Forum events, your gift card recipient can score tickets to Bucks games and other events through the Ticketmaster box office. Shop exclusive gear at the Bucks Pro Shop or get a favorite snack at Fiserv Forum's concessions. It's a win-win gift that lets them choose their experience. To purchase a gift card, visit bucks.com/gift cards.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
This is Kevin Van Rossum, president of Three Tree Marketing. If your company is struggling to create a buzz or just looking for a new way to stand out, our team is here to help point you in the right direction. We'll assist you in building your brand and prove we truly know what works. Experts at Three Tree can build a one-of-a-kind gifting experience that can set your brand apart and show how much you value your customers as well as your employees. At Three Tree Marketing, we chase partners, not orders. Visit threetreemarketing.com to learn more about what we can do for you.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Champs Americana in Brookfield, the Sandlots of Salem in Salem Lakes, Kelly's Bleachers Big Bend, Magoo's on the Mound in Milwaukee, and Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill in Pewaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
How would you like to own a jewelry store?
Kessler's Diamonds is an employee-owned company.
And Kessler's is growing. Are you the kind of person we're looking for?
Does it make you happy to make other people happy?
Are you a problem solver?
Would you like to wake up every morning knowing that you're going to help a lot of people find joy today?
Kessler's Diamonds is people serving people.
Keep in mind that Kessler's is owned by its employees. So let me ask you this. Are you a good enough leader that you can be an owner who leads other owners?
Don't worry, you don't have to know about diamonds. We can teach you about diamonds. But the people we're looking for aren't looking for a job.
Did someone pop into your head just now?
Do you think you might know who we're looking for?
Give that person a call.
Send them an email.
Tell them to walk into Kessler's Diamonds and say to the person who greets them,
I think I want to work here.
Welcome to Kessler's.
A fantastic place to buy jewelry and a wonderful place to work.
For the store nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
What it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingers.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason did join us earlier today where he broke some news that his final article in the Wisconsin State Journal will be this Sunday.
End of an era.
But a new adventure that he will tell us all about on Monday morning show. He's very excited about it. So,
is there any speculation on what that might look like on our YouTube stream or our Carbless Talk and Text line?
I did say that I would most definitely not be asking fans to share what they think Jason's
Yeah, but a lot
next,
of times what happens, Jesse, you say that, and fans will say, well, he said not to do that, so I'm going to do that.
You mean like Josh and Heartland, who said Jason's going to be Matt LaFleur's personal PR director?
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Jim in the Berg, Jason's next gig, full-time helicopter parent and Aaron Rodgers apologist. That's not very nice, Jim.
He does that pretty well. That's when he was writing for the State Journal.
He said a new adventure.
I was going to say, we didn't say status quo.
Pete and Sun Prairie, Jason will be writing for Spark Notes, summarizing Tausch's ramblings from the show.
That could be fun. I'd tune into that.
Jim on the South Side, a new podcast with Stephen A. Smith and Dan Orlovsky.
That could be fun. I'd listen to that, too.
These are fun to review. Again, I did not ask for these on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line at 844-770-3776. I also did not ask for them in the YouTube comments.
The Dwellers ones are interesting.
Adam suggests an adult magazine article writer.
I'm out on that.
No?
No, I'm good.
Jason's going to write for the Daily Cardinal. Somebody suggested going back and writing for the Badger Herald.
Yeah, that was me that said that.
Oh, you said that one. Okay, interesting. Riley, there on the VMix, there is a picture of Jason in a Elmo costume. If you want to have that one ready for this, Green Bay G in the YouTube comments, Cookie Monster content creator for that particular group of fans, if you know what I mean.
I don't. Tell me more.
People who enjoy the costumes, who are
okay.
If I was to describe the costumes, they appear to be furry. That's what I would say about that.
Sitting by a fireplace.
I'm kind of scared to go look at more of these responses. Again, I didn't ask for these in the YouTube comments or on the
made sure you
text line.
Qualified that.
And if you want to suggest more, like that's up to you at 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line lists is more. We still have not played Mark Ananasio's audio, which you want to make sure we have the full context of. Riley, do we have that yet?
We do. We have 4 separate chunks of Mark Atanasio audio, if needed.
Hope it's the full context that Tausch is looking for.
I don't want to misrepresent what people are saying.
It has been hotly debated. We are the only show that has yet to talk about those Mark Atanasio comments, so we will do that. We still have trivia to play. We have a trivia winner to draw. Riley's going to lead us in Whoa Riley in that edition of Whoa Nelly today. So that is all still to come, and we're going to continue to review your thoughts on pull tabs, the Packers, Brian Gutekunst drafting, and a whole lot more. So don't go anywhere. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
Each year, more than 23,000 kids experience cardiac arrest, and nearly 20% are infants. Every second counts in a cardiac emergency. Did you know performing CPR on a child or infant can double or even triple their chances of survival? This Heart Month, the American Heart Association and 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee urge you to learn child and infant CPR and be ready to save the lives of those you love. Know CPR so you are ready when you bring your baby home, ready as your child grows, and ready when it matters most. To learn more, visit heart.org.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI-HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today on ESPN Wisconsin. Wisconsin On Demand, the YouTube channels, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. By the way, it's a big day for ESPN Wisconsin, so I want to mention a couple of things that are going on for some of our teammates that we actually have both on in our Everlight Solar studio here at ESPN Madison on the big screens, and Tausch hasn't even been super distracted by them, which is amazing. Nice job, old T.
Thanks.
So right behind you, we do have Matt Hamilton and his sister Becca Hamilton in their final Olympic qualifying curling match out in Colorado. This is the final match of pool play, and they are currently losing 4-3 in the fifth end. So the Hamiltons hoping to qualify for the semifinals for a chance to win their way to the Olympics. So that's on Peacock right now. We have it up here in the studio. This might be Tausch's first time ever actually watching Peacock. I don't want to well, you actually have your back turned to it,
Yep,
so it's not your first time watching, so I will watch it on your behalf. Then over on our other TV, on the Daily Dodge TV YouTube channel, that's from our sister station 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
Dodge County.
Dodge County's best, yes. We have Wally Lukaczynski, who is the host of the Dam Sports Show, along with Corey Sparks, afternoons at 4 o'clock on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. He is doing his bowling challenge. benefiting the John Moser Children's Radiothon. We will tell you more about that coming up at the close of the show. But if you want to live stream while we are on here with you, if you want to check out Daily Dodge TV and watch Wally bowling in a quest to knock down 4,319 total pins.
I gotta lie to you. Watching a couple of these frames, he might be there till Sunday. I mean, it is a struggle.
Wally is not a bowler.
And he's like a DJ too. He's putting it all. He's got a microphone there. He's letting it rip. It looks like he's having a heck of a time.
He needs Jesse to come up for some
sucking down
celebrity
Gatorades
friends.
after like his second, not even second game, like second throw.
He was sick earlier this week, which is
he's a warrior.
Not boding well for our buddy Wally. We will talk plenty more about that when we get to our Feel Good
Still
Friday segment coming
disappointed
up.
you as a bowler that you haven't tried the 10 strike thing.
Well, I am going to go up to
When?
Beaver Dam this afternoon.
Okay, but are you going to do what you don't want to overshadow Wally?
No, I'm not going to. We're going to find a separate time to do that.
Sure you will.
This format charitably works a lot better to have a pin total that he's aiming to accomplish. So if you wanted to set my pin total,
No,
and
we're
be
not
like,
interested in that. I want you
exactly.
to do 10. You don't throw a strike. You reset. All you got to do is throw throw a perfect game. You need 12
strikes.
So if you get to 7, you don't do it. Reset.
It's not like you just casually ever go out and toss 12 strikes in a row.
That's what I'm asking for you to do. You bowled a 299.
I did.
You gagged. Oof. You filled your britches.
That was 15 years ago. I did bowl a 300 last year.
No, you didn't.
In a 9-pin tap tournament.
No proof.
No,
I do have proof. I had a very not appealing picture of
so
me
you
bowling that 300.
understand what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to finish the game. Once you don't throw the strike, you reset.
We're going to figure this out.
No, this is what we're asking. I'm not. This is Wally's deal. You don't lop onto Wally's deal.
I'm not lopping onto Wally's deal.
Oh, it's a better format. And we're not asking about that as a format. 12 strikes. Jesse Nelson. That's what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You are a self-proclaimed bowling guru. If you want to say, Tausch, you said you're a great parallel parker. Give me 12 slots. I'll parallel park 12 times. I'll call it a day.
Yes,
okay?
but there's an ending to that.
There's an ending to this.
No, the ending is bowling a 300, which might literally never happen.
You said you're a great bowler. You get a reset. You get a reset.
You still have to toss 12 in a row.
All right, you get 24 hours. If you don't do it after 24 hours, it's over.
Well, there we go. Now we're talking. Now we're in the mix on something. There's an ending.
But there's no breaks. So like you grab a sandwich, but you're going.
We just need to find the charitable component to it as well.
There's plenty of charitable components we can
I bet
get on
there.
board with.
Yes, I bet there are.
And I will start the sprinkler fund on it.
All right.
Riley, you think it's a great idea?
Yeah, I like it.
24 hours, and if you want to do it up in Beaver Dam, I am all in on Beaver Dam.
As the voice of Bowlstream TV, home of the high school bowling state championships, again, March 9th up at somewhere in the Appleton area. I actually got to check what bowling alley we're at. I forgot. It's the first time we're there. Somewhere in Appleton, the Valley, is where we're going to be for the state bowling championships. You'll probably figure that out.
Real bowling expert.
But you don't have to know where we are.
The bowling guru.
You'll know we're on Bowlstream TV, and you can watch us then, March 9th. Bowlstream TV.
How long do you think that'll take? Do you need Bruss to come up? Should we have Bruss do this?
Don't you patronize me.
No, I'm
with,
not
do you need
patronizing.
Bruss?
Bruss the better bowler. Should we
we've
see
been
if
down
Bruss
this
wants
road.
to attack the same thing and you guys battle each other?
No.
Why?
Because I've already been embarrassed once losing to Brust. I don't need it again.
Yeah, Jesse, how did that happen? How does someone of your caliber at bowling lose to Ben Brust?
Smacky talk.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, now that you're skinny, Jesse, you are supposed to wash his car in a banana hammock.
Okay, first of all,
that is what was supposed to happen.
I remember that.
There is a false narrative around that. I said I would wash the car in a swimsuit, never agreed to a banana hammock. And a swimsuit I felt just fine about, even when I was fat Jesse, as some have referred to me as. I've told
Just
Brust,
for the record, I have never, ever called you that. I've called you Skinny Jesse now.
Appreciate that, old T. Brust, I did the Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust questions for Kyle Brust and Nortman the other day, too. Rave reviews from what I've seen. Everyone except Brust.
You're 1-1 now.
Ben did bring up again that I owe him a car wash, and I said, anytime, Ben, I've said this since the beginning, anytime you want to pull up to my house in Sun Prairie and park it out in the front, I will wash that car. So that's the parameters I've set. Anytime you would drop the car off, I'll wash it. I'll pay up anytime you want to bring it over. I'm not going to him to pay off that wage.
All right, let's get back to bowling.
Great. I'm glad we wanted to do that. I forgot what our question was about bowling. The point is you can watch Wally on Daily Dodge TV bowling right now in his quest for a bunch of
So are
pins.
you committing
I have always said yes, I will commit to doing it.
Youngster,
yes.
He's committed.
I just want to find out the challenge has been finding out the charitable component of it also, and what
we have
with Wally,
that figured. It will be something American Family Children's Hospital adjacent.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it. Committed.
I am going to get a date on the calendar. I'm thinking June-ish.
Whatever you say, old T.
All right, we'll get that figured out. I like this.
Off-season content seems like a good idea. I'm not sure what Mark Annanasio's financial situation would be to contribute to our cause. How was that for you like
one
that?
of your better ones?
Thank you. Appreciate that. We are the last sports radio show in the state of Wisconsin to address Mark Annanasio's comments from earlier this week at spring training. I'm feeling pretty confident in saying that.
Did they talk pull tabs?
I don't think they did.
So it matters.
That's what makes us special here. In case you missed it, as Dave and Aaron pointed out on the text line, he didn't actually want to hear Mark Annanasio's comments again because it gets him more upset every time he hears it. Here, if you missed it earlier this week, is what Mark Annanasio rhetorically responded to a question about his role as an owner in Major League Baseball.
Similar to the question, what's your job? Forget about calling yourself, if you're the steward of baseball here. Is my job to win a World Series? Now it's going to everybody say, oh, he doesn't think he has to win a World Series. But it's my job to win a World Series. It's my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together.
Yeah. That's Mark Annanasio earlier this week in the press conference.
He didn't say he is not interested in winning a World Series. He's literally speaking rhetorically. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's best to not say anything.
So, and you wanted the full context.
I do.
So this is clipped a little bit. This has gone obviously viral. It's been featured in articles, nationally, talking points. Like, this has been a big deal this week in the sports conversation landscape. So here is the full context. I have the printed edition here of Mark Annanasio's quote. He was asked, with all that's happened since Yelich signed his contract extension, do you foresee ever doing a deal of that magnitude again? That was what he was responding to. That was the question.
Yeah, great question.
He said, sure, yeah, it just has to be the right player at the right time in our life cycle. I thought about this a lot when we did the contract with Yelich. It's great to have generational players that the fans can follow. We had Yount, but you get into the question of what is your job as the steward of baseball? And then he goes on what we just heard. So we'll skip forward here. I decided that it was more so than that, what you would get for Christian Yelich in a trade and how that would go into the fancy computer model that general manager Matt Arnold and his team have. So I'm committed to that. So he's addressing both, that it's important to win, to have generational players that fans can connect with, and that he's interested in winning a championship. But he did rhetorically ask himself that, and I do think he said too much. So I think even though we now have the full context of the quote, it does still come through that he sounds like he's saying he wants to provide fun on Friday nights more so than he wants to win a World Series.
So it is a line that all ownership has to walk. Is the main thing has to be winning, always. But not all things are created equal. We can't do what the Dodgers do. We can't do what the Yankees do. And I think you have to look at it and say, has he been a good steward for the Milwaukee Brewers? And the answer would be yes. What have we seen? This has been the golden age of Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Do we want a championship? Oh, of course we do. Would we love to see more, spend a little more when you're close? Yes. And I think that's the battle that these guys have to do, because a couple of years ago you trade Josh Hader. And by the way, it was completely the right move, even though it spiraled that season and that clubhouse. People are going to be the first blown save this year. Well, Devin Williams would have closed that up. You do have to do things differently. I think that our fans in Milwaukee, as far as Brewers, we have that understanding, and I think sometimes we almost lean on that too much. And, we're a plucky group and all this other stuff. We've been outside of the Dodgers, I think the last 8 years, I would venture, and I don't know this, so you'd have to analytically check me. I would think from a wins-loss standpoint, we're probably in the top 3 or 4 in the NL.
Well, let me have Mark Ananasio check you on that. Here's what Mark Ananasio said about the success the Brewers have had relative to every Major League Baseball team except for one that you just mentioned. Here's what Mark said earlier this week.
Well, the Dodgers, I think, are capitalizing both their financial success and their on-field success. Since 2020, the only team that's been in first place more days than us is the Dodgers. But that means that we can develop this pipeline of players. We're an organization of opportunity.
So more than the Yankees, more than the Cubs, more than the Mets, more than the Phillies, more than a lot of these other teams with large payrolls, the Brewers have been in first place the most since 2021, except for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Are we happy with what the Brewers have done the last decade? Are you, as a Brewers fan, happy?
It depends on the...
It's a yes or no.
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Youngster? It's 2016 or let's go the last 2015 to now. How many playoff spots? I mean, we've been in the playoffs almost every year. Mm-hmm. We've had looks. We've had a really good look when we lost to the Dodgers in Game 7. We've had opportunities.
They've been in the mix and just haven't gotten it done in the postseason. But
so have you been?
I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. Like, you're looking for more.
Yeah. That's a great answer by Riley. I'm happy with what the Brewers have done for the last decade. I'm not satisfied that they have been contenders.
Okay,
but
what do you want
them
to do different?
Get to the World Series.
Okay, what's that? So do you want them to start trading these young players away, the Jackson Chorios, the guys that come up and give us life and hope for 7 or 8 years, to chase a CC Sabathia for 8 months? Is that what you want?
I think when you see the team in June and July making a run, like last year is a great example. The division was not great last year. The Brewers built a lead early, and you felt pretty good in June and July that they were not going to look back, and they were going to be in the playoffs with at least what they had was a home series in the wild card round. If you know that early in the season to like the midpoint of the season, you can almost guarantee yourself that you're going to be in the mix come playoff time. When you're in a market like Milwaukee, I think, yes, that's the time where you start to consider, is there a young player that is still developing in the minor leagues that is a hot commodity and could be a great generational player for years to come in Milwaukee, but is worth giving up for that extra piece that could set us apart and get us a win over the Mets and go be a pitcher that can go 6-7 innings in a clutch game that makes or breaks an entire postseason run. That's the difference to me that I want to see from the Brewers when they're in a position like what they were in last year, and that's what Mark Ananasio in these comments is sounding like he's saying he's reluctant to do, or at least very hesitant to do, because of the market that it is and because of the deck, the way that it's stacked in ways against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Let's poll this, and I know Brewers stuff on our show is not going to probably move the needle like Packers stuff. Are you satisfied with the direction of where the Milwaukee Brewers are over the last decade? Are you satisfied? Yes or no?
So you want to ask, I see what you're doing. You're specifically asking satisfied, not are you happy?
Yes.
And why are you choosing to ask it that way?
I want to know if people are satisfied, because I think I always get frustrated when fans hold the Green Bay Packers to a higher level of expectation, even when the Brewers are ahead by 10 games at the end, and the Packers, it's week 4. And they're a young team. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, is it all just monetary? Is it all because we're always coming from behind because we don't have the resources that the big boys have? And are we always just going to, shucks it? Or are we like, no, we're good enough, gosh darn it, and we can do it? Jack Handy it.
Yeah, I think that's the attitude Brewers fans are looking to see from Mark Ananasio, because no one's saying we don't want the ballpark to be a great place for families and for people to be able to have an affordable evening of fun and entertainment at American Family Field. No one's saying we don't want that. Why do you have to pose the question like these are mutually exclusive things, which could just be a mistake on
Because if you go all in and do what Jesse is saying, you are going to give up all of these. There is no Jackson Chury. You're giving those players up to make those moves for the win now. And the problem is, do you ever get the elevators to match up? Where your veteran guys, the Yelich's has a great season, and those young players are up, and you're there. And then things change. The Royals win a championship, and then they fall off the face of the cliff.
See, I posed this exact question to my friends yesterday while we were watching the USA-Canada hockey game. Would you give up 15, 20 years of mediocrity and failure of the Brewers organization
but what we've done
for a
has not been mediocre the last 10 years.
Exactly, but you'd trade all of that for one championship.
Would you rather be the Miami Marlins with 2 World Series championships and a bunch
100%.
of years of being irrelevant?
I think we all would.
Yep, 100%.
I think we all would. I mean, we're celebrating and making movies about a team that got beaten in the World Series.
But it's easy to say that when we don't have a title. Once you they have had so many opportunities to try and get the one, and they've been right there. Game 7 of the NLCS in 2018. These series, if they get past the Mets, if they get past the Cardinals in 2011, they're in the World Series as the favorites against the Texas Rangers. There's so many things that there were one game, one inning away from things going totally differently. Last year, game 1 against the Mets, there's a couple of errors that allow the Mets to score a couple of runs. They don't have that one bad inning with a couple of errors in the field. The Brewers probably win that series against the Mets in 2 games, and then who knows what happens from there. Look what the Mets did. They made it all the way a couple of rounds further.
And last year you can't blame on Atanasio because the Brewers are going into Game 3 against the Mets, 2-0 lead with the best closer in baseball on the mound up until that point, and he blows it.
Yeah, and that was not an Atanasio problem,
but
for sure.
You got to win a championship.
There's a lot of texts that are coming in on this, so we will review these at some point coming up. We do.
We're running out of show.
We are running out of show. We do have to play trivia, so we are going to play trivia coming up next. We will get to some of your texts coming in on the Brewers conversation. 844-770-3776. Caller number 11. Going to play Wilde and Tausch trivia right now. 844-770-3776. It is Badgers Trivia Friday because I wrote the questions for yesterday's show thinking we were going to talk Badgers more yesterday with Greg Gard on. We didn't get the trivia, so I took the easy way out, and I just moved the questions to today. So
fantastic.
Caller 11, Wilde and Tausch trivia.
Winking at me?
I'm not winking
you
at
just
you.
winked at me.
It's
super uncomfortable. What's not uncomfortable is playing Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season just started up, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Over 10 million members, billions in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody, and the app is simple to use. 2 or more players pick across any sport, go more or less on their projections. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Over 40 states, including California and Texas, but the great state of Wisconsin. Download the app, use code WI for that great state, and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code WI on Prize Picks to get that $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you get $50 just for playing, and that is guaranteed. Prize Picks.
Run
your
game.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
What an honor to get to do that. Caller 11, 844-770-3776 to play Badgers Trivia Friday next on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Baseball season. So close you could almost smell it.
Off the top of the wall and out of here! Garrett Mitchell, a go-ahead 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning.
The Brewers are back on the field for spring training. Catch Cactus League action right here on 94.5 ESPN Sunday, February 23rd.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Maddie's Bar and Grill, Papa Stash, Tavern on 6, Joe Cat's Pub, Camp Bar Wauwatosa, Maxwell's, Thirsty Buck, State Street Pizza, and Stenny's Lake Country. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Strong mind, strong body, and strong communities. That is what you need to know about the Princeton Club, and that is what you can achieve at the Princeton Club of New Berlin. When you walk in there, you will feel completely motivated to better yourself just like everyone else is doing. I've done personal training. They have saunas. They have workout classes. They have basketball courts. They have indoor-outdoor swimming pools. It all starts with a tour. Check it out. You're going to fall in love. Free childcare with the membership, open 24/7. Check out the Princeton Club of New Berlin. Get your tour and take that small step to a bigger journey for a better tomorrow. That's at theprincetonclub.net.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
That weird Wisconsin weather is here. Snow one day, sun the next. But you can always count on Tsunami Express to keep your car clean. With 6 locations across southeastern Milwaukee, Tsunami Express helps fight that salt, grime, and mud with powerful vacuums and state-of-the-art wash technology. Technology like their best-in-class T2 with graphene for a long-lasting shine and protection. Stop at any Tsunami Express location and get your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Terms and conditions apply. First wash free for new members only.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
It's just a matter of time.
Jason's going to be jealous. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch, and it is our pleasure as we get set to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, Badgers Trivia Friday today, to welcome in a first-time contestant to Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Love a good first-time contestant. Let's welcome in Tommy in Mequon. Tommy! Sorry, I got I'm putting my blood.
Hello.
Tommy in Mequon. Welcome into Wilde and Tausch Trivia, Tommy, huh?
So if it was Tom, you wouldn't do the Boston accent.
Nah,
right?
not Tommy.
Okay, just
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah, but this is Tommy. Tommy, how you doing, Tommy, huh?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are wonderful, Tommy.
Tommy's annoyed with your
I don't think he's particularly infatuated
I
with
don't
it.
blame him. I am too, so I don't blame him.
Well, now, whenever we have Johnnies on, you ask the Johnnies why they like going by Johnny and not John or anything else. So
I don't think I've ever asked
you
that.
gonna ask
All right, Tommy?
No, you're not. Okay.
Tommy's excited.
Sorry, let me park my car by the harbor yard. How about that, gentlemen?
Get your bowl of chowder.
There we go.
Get your bowl of chowder over there for lunch.
What do you think that game USA-Canada at the Garden last night? You watch that, Tommy?
That was hype.
I did.
That was good.
Good game. All right.
It was a very exciting game.
All right, we're done. Tausch, you have question number 1.
Last week, it was announced that the 2025 volleyball match between Wisconsin and Marquette, a designated home match for Marquette, will be played at which of these unique venues? Of course, that will be on 100.5 here in Madison and WTMJ in Milwaukee. Is it Fiserv Forum, AmFam Field, or Wilde's Basement?
I'm going to have to go with AmFam Field.
Good guess. Not the easiest first question.
Not the easiest.
It is Fiserv Forum, which I don't think that's not where Marquette plays their games.
That is not where they regularly play volleyball. No, they usually play.
Is Wilde's Basement? Is that part of? Is that like the clearance rack for Filene's basement? The clothing store?
Aren't you supposed to lob an easy one up?
Yeah, it was supposed to be easier. I thought that was pretty tough. I agree, Tommy.
I did tell him the questions were tough. So
yeah, you throw me under the bus.
This is what Jesse does at the end of the week, Tommy. He gets super he likes to strut out of here with like a peacock. I'm watching Peacock.
Well, just wait until the next question.
In fairness, these were supposed to be yesterday. Tommy, question number 2. This Sunday, Wisconsin women's basketball has a chance to put themselves in a great position to earn a berth in the Big Ten tournament with a win at home at the Kohl Center against which of these opponents? If we were doing Jason's new gig at Spark Notes, he would say, who do the Wisconsin women's basketball team play on Sunday? Rutgers, Purdue, or Northwestern?
Rutgers, Purdue, or Northwestern? Northwestern.
Was that a guess?
That was a guess.
That was a good guess, Tommy. You got that one. Nicely done. One in the bag. Tausch.
Oh, thank you.
Question number 3 is yours.
John Tonje became the first Badgers player since Michael Finley to score 30 or more points in back-to-back games. Only 4 Badgers have done it. Which of these is not one of the other 2? Is it Rick Olson, Danny Jones, or Clarence Sherrod?
This one's tough,
Can you
Tommy.
repeat those names for me?
Certainly. Rick Olson, Danny Jones, Clarence Sherrod.
Well, those guys sound like they're a little bit before my time. I'm going to go with B, Danny Jones.
Look at you.
Danny Jones is correct. One of the, he's in the top 10 of all-time leading scorers at the University of Wisconsin.
Danny Jones was a baller. I remember Dan. He was with Trent Jackson. They had a squad.
Didn't really work out for him with the New York Giants, though.
Not bad.
Thank you. The rare miss the first, get the second and third for Tommy and Mequon.
Pretty good little performance by Tommy there.
In his Wilde and Tausch trivia debut, Tommy, you have 3 of the possible 4 entries, and you don't have to wait very long. That drawing is coming up in our next segment. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too, Tommy.
Tommy and Mequon, our contestant on Wilde and Tausch trivia. Tommy, not bad, huh? Danny Jones.
I like when he came with the chowder. When he came with the park in this car.
What can you tell me about Clarence Sherrod, though?
I don't know a lot about Clarence. Do you know anything about him?
Not a thing.
Why'd you pick that name then?
He is one of the people who did score 30 or more points in back-to-back games, as was Rick Olson.
I'll have to ask. I know Rick Olson. I've met Rick Olson. Rick Olson was a really good player. I don't know Clarence, though.
All right. That's Wilde and Tausch trivia. Your responses are still coming in on the text line.
He's
about
already
the
going with the slow-mo bowl.
Yeah, Wally's got to go with the slow boy to bring out the
He's got a wristband on now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to make it.
Tausch is alluding to our friend Wally Lukaczynski of ESPN Beaver Dam, his bowling challenge, which you can watch the live video stream of all day long and perhaps all weekend long on Daily Dodge TV. So subscribe for that YouTube channel. We'll tell you more about it coming up in Feel Good Friday. Whoa Nelly, including drawing this week's trivia winner, coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Your taste buds are in luck. The Reuben is back at Cousin Subs. Try this classic sub grilled to order just for you. Stacked with corned beef, Wisconsin Swiss cheese, and sauerkraut topped with Thousand Island dressing and served on rye bread. And our delicious mint shake is back. Both the Reuben and mint shake can be ordered via the Cousins app or online for a limited time only. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Young, dumb, and wild and free. When I close my eyes, I can see you in my sweatshirt. Dancing around that college bar these days. I don't know where you are.
Our poll is in the field. Great producing today.
Riley's good. He's a Friday guy.
I am a Friday guy. All October.
He's definitely worked more.
Forgot about October.
He's worked more Fridays this fiscal year than you have.
That is not true.
You didn't do any.
That fiscal year is the same.
You don't know. Everybody's fiscal year is different.
I know what our fiscal year is, and it started a month and a half ago.
I don't know if you
Actually,
know when our
if Riley's been in every Friday, he would have worked for Fridays. Going to
you've missed
cruise.
a bunch, huh?
All right. Anyway, we have a poll in the field is the point. Thanks to Riley. A late poll question from Tausch. That's you.
That's what I heard.
Since 2015, are you satisfied with the direction of the Milwaukee Brewers? Right now, only a few votes in, but closing in on 100 early on here. And usually once we get to 100, it gives you a good glimpse of where we're going. 76% yes.
Yeah, well, it's the glory. I get it. I understand the frustration, but it's been. I'm never going to tell you to trust. You can trust, but verify. There's been a lot of verification. Now, getting over the hump, that's not always on just the ownership group. And could you always ask guys to spend more money? Of course. But you have to do things in a fiscal way that you can continue to put out a good product. And then there is the question that I asked you, when is that point where you make that push? And have we done that in a while? I think that's a fair question to ask.
Couple of quick texts I wanted to get to. Stephen Middleton, I'm 73. Tired of hearing happy with the playoffs. I know I'm not supposed to tell people how to spend their money, but don't cry that you can't afford to spend when you're buying soccer teams.
That is a criticism that I've seen a bunch of, so I get where he's coming from.
And isn't that soccer team going to be a Premier League team starting next season, I'm pretty sure, which I think is pretty lucrative?
Jeff in Monroe, as a fan since 1970, he's coming at Steve for his take here.
Okay.
As a fan since 1970, I definitely am happy. Looking back at the various bad baseball years, I'm also satisfied. Love that the Brewers are relevant. Jeff in Monroe, our buddy in Monroe.
There he is.
Ian in East Troy, the last text of the day, sounds awfully familiar to the Packers' philosophy of continued bites at the apple instead of going all in for 1 year.
Gotta be chomping.
So, and you
always
mentioned,
gotta be chomping.
You mentioned the contrast, how the Packers are held to, and one of the biggest debates in the history of this show was the Packers' season of success when they reached the NFC Championship game against the Falcons, got their doors blown off. Was that a successful season for not reaching the Super Bowl but exceeding expectations in the playoffs, similar to last year, honestly, year before, whatever. I don't know how Wilde says that. Or do you expect championship or bust with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback, and now with the team being in the playoffs back-to-back years, and if they don't win a championship, it's not a successful season? That's kind of the argument now with the Brewers.
Heavy's the crown. Heavy is the crown. That's what I would say.
Riley, would you like to draw this week's trivia winner?
Very dramatic delivery, Tausch. I like that.
Heavy is the
thanks.
cheese
And now
fry
I'm
helmet.
watching Wally. I'm kind of mesmerized by Wally on this.
Yeah, now he's distracted.
He's got this blue. He must have spun one and got to using it a little helper. Well, he puts this little baby blue and looks like a really small shopping cart, and kept pushing the ball right into the right gutter. Didn't matter how far left he came. Now they brought out what looks like a dragon, a green dragon,
dinosaur dragon,
and I think he's having a little more success. But he's both. With assistance, he's bowling a 25, and now another gutter ball.
Not looking good.
Wally, I tell you what, Wally, Wally's friends, family. Take tomorrow off because I think you're going to still be at the bowling. Are they keeping the bowling alley open all night?
They will. They would assume he would be done by midnight tonight.
Corey told me when I was filling in on the Damn Sports Show on Monday, they have those two lanes until the bowling alley closes at 2 a.m. So they have until 2 a.m.
Unless things pick up. 2 a.m. ain't going to do it. If he stops for a meal and grabs a bite, he ain't going to get there.
We will share the link to watch on Daily Dodge TV's YouTube channel.
2.5 hours in. He started when we started. He ain't even got 700 pins down yet.
It's going to be a while. They said he averaged an 80 over 4 games the other day. He's got to get to 4,300. It's going to be a long time for Wally. Riley,
2 a.m. is not.
Give us our trivia
better
winner
get
here
candles
this week.
out.
Alrighty. Triple trivia geography on Wednesday.
Our trivia winner is Vern in Waterloo.
Vernie.
Uncle Vern.
Oh, Verno.
Nicely done.
Good win for the Vernster.
Congrats, Vern.
Take that prize pack over to whatever they're calling that bowling alley now in Waterloo. Love that spot. Formerly known as Stubby's. Ted Pin Alley.
Oh,
I think.
Stubby's is gone?
Yeah, I think it's called Ted Pin Alley
You had
now.
a lot of moments at Stubbs.
I sure did. The whole montage of it someday. Until then, let's play Whoa Nelly featuring Riley Yauk.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Alrighty. So I'm driving to jiu-jitsu this morning. I got to jumpstart my car every morning, by the way, as well. I need a new battery, but that's besides the point. I'm driving.
How are you jumping it?
I have one of those little self-starter packs where you just hook it up to the...
and you bring it with you everywhere you go?
Yep.
Every morning you have to do that?
Well, it's been cold.
See, once it warms up next week, I think I'll be good again. It's once it dips below like 20 degrees at night, then we start having issues.
Oh, you
got to jump it every morning. But,
suddenly my furnace doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
Pretty.
Hey, as long as the jumping pack keeps working.
This winter needs to end.
Exactly.
You need a place to stay, bud?
No, I'm fine. So that's besides the point. I'm driving to jiu-jitsu this morning, and I pull up to a stoplight. I'm about to turn right to go to my gym, and I look to my left, and I see this dude in a convertible, top down. He just has a cowboy hat on. That's it. And he's just rolling.
He's not wearing pants?
I didn't see that much. I'm assuming he had a shirt on. But all I saw was the cowboy hat.
Was he shirtless or not? I feel
don't
like
know.
that's important for the story.
You said he's only wearing a cowboy hat. I mean,
there are two cars in front of me. I'm behind the one. This guy is the convertible with just the cowboy hat on. I can neither confirm nor deny whether he had any clothes on underneath the cowboy hat. But I was shocked. This guy is crazy. It felt like -3 this morning.
Yeah?
And he's driving a convertible with nothing covering his ears. It was wild. So I want to know, what's the craziest thing you guys have done in the cold?
In the cold?
Yeah.
I have done on more than one occasion where you jump out of a hot tub and make a snow angel and then jump back into the hot tub.
What a legend.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Some of the fun old
pretty
days
good.
there.
Yeah, old days.
That was a college crazy Jesse back then.
Nuts.
I played in an NFC championship game. It was 46 below with no sleeves on.
Yeah, that's
something. And then down in
legit.
Chicago with like 80-mile-an-hour winds, bristling across Lake Michigan. It was probably colder about 3 weeks prior. So I will say this. Yesterday felt like it was almost Hawaii. Like I went outside,
it's above
windows
like 25.
down, 30 degrees when it was -30. I can't do math great. That's a 60-degree difference. That's pretty good. So I appreciate what the new dude with the cowboy hat on was doing. I'm all in. I get it. I see what he's doing.
I've never done a polar plunge. I've thought about it a few times, but I've never decided to go ahead and follow through on it. Maybe next year's the year I do the polar plunge.
Yeah, that's probably the most intense thing I've done in the cold. It's probably under 10 degrees, and the Hoofers Club at UW, they cut a big old hole in the ice outside the Memorial Union, and anyone can just kind of jump in whenever they want. So me and about 10 friends did that, and it's intense, and then you stay for a few minutes, go crazy, and then you try and get out. And you're just scrambling along the ice and you don't feel anything until later you realize you're just gashed and there's blood like coming from all over your stomach and whatnot because you got sliced up by the ice. So that was pretty crazy. That was fun.
What the hell are you doing?
Jumping in the lake.
You don't need to jump in a lake and then act like somebody chainsawed you. Like, you just go in casually. You don't need to what the hell are you doing?
We're trying.
I've seen a lot of people jump in lakes when it's cold.
You walk out of it.
You don't jump in and rub your belly on a jagged edge of the ice because you want to bleed.
It's all frozen over. You have to cut a hole in. And it's not like they have a ladder. You got to jump and climb out and scramble your way out.
Why don't they have a ladder?
I don't know. We didn't think about that.
You're a fascinating dude. You're off doing jiu-jitsu. You're writing with a quill pen. You're bleeding out in a lake for no reason but other than just the fact you want to bleed. So will you tonight have to start your car with your jump starter?
Yeah, when I have to go to Beaver Dam, we're going to jump it again. Then I'll probably have to jump it after I leave the bowling alley.
Jesse, can you get him some more hours so that he could get a battery?
I'm working on it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
He could also just stop with the medical expenses of jumping in the frozen lake every year. That would probably help the cause,
I don't understand. It's like you have a shark. You got a shark out there biting now. What do you want me to do? Not swim next to the shark? Yeah. And you act like I'm crazy to think you shouldn't be bleeding out from jumping in the ice.
It's not bleeding out. It's just got some nice cuts.
Sure. Okay.
Whoa, Nelly!
There's more?
Do we have time for one more?
If you hurry. I want to make sure we give Wally his due
Exactly.
here, so.
Okay, quick question. My friend Oscar proposed this last night. Want to give him credit for the content.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
He got proposed? Or he's...
No. What's the best trophy in professional sports?
Stanley Cup.
Heisman.
Ooh. Explain.
I think the Heisman Trophy is the most well-known, sexiest trophy. The Stanley Cup is beautiful. There's no doubt about it. But you don't say the Stanley Trophy. You said, what's the most trophy? I'm going to say Heisman.
Stanley Cup, you drink out of it. It goes places. You can have everybody gets it for a day to do what they want with it.
Do you ever pose it, though? Do people pose?
Yeah, there's pictures that hockey players have all the time with it.
Do people pose?
Yes. Well,
there is the people pose for the trophy with the trophy.
Yeah. Stanley Cup.
That's all I got.
It's Whoa Nelly featuring Riley Yauk.
That's it. Yauk, the more I listen to you, the more I'm entertained.
Brought to you by Band-Aids. Make sure you're good around a tummy when you do a polar plunge.
Thank you.
Feel Good Friday, featuring our buddy Wally Lukaczynski up at ESPN Beaver Dam and his quest and the charitable initiatives for the John Moser Children's Radiothon. That's straight ahead on Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badger.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, it's NBA reporter Chris Haynes joining Marcus and Chris. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is really simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in more than 40-plus states, including California, and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code WI. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code WI on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for just playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Feeling good, like I should. When in Durga, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed.
Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason did join us in the 9 o'clock hour. If you missed any of the conversation, he broke some news. I won't tell you what it was. You got to go find it on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, wherever you get your podcast. He'll share more about it when he returns to host the show on Monday. Our Feel Good Friday today is our buddy Wally Lukaczynski of ESPN Beaver Dam. We've mentioned it a few times throughout this hour because Tausch has been distracted by the Daily Dodge TV video stream.
Just threw a strike.
So Wally is part of the Dam Sports Show on ESPN Beaver Dam, weekdays from 4 to 5, along with his co-host Corey Sparks. Wally lost their Pick'em Challenge for the year, so his loser's punishment for losing the Pick'em Challenge was to bowl the amount of Sam Darnold passing yards. Still not sure how exactly that ended up being the qualifier, but 4,319 for Sam Darnold. So that's the amount of pins Wally needs to bowl in one setting at Tower Lanes in Beaver Dam. Great partner of our ESPN Beaver Dam station. And they've done a great job not only making this a great experience for fans to consume the live stream all day long of Wally bowling as we are right now here in the Everlight Solar studio at ESPN Madison, but there's also a great charitable component to this as well. I spent a few years working up in Beaver Dam, love the team up there, love the community in Dodge County, and you can donate to the cause to help reduce Wally's pin count that he needs to achieve. You can go to the dailydodge.com website and find the John Moser Children's Radiothon. The late general manager John Moser of ESPN Beaver Dam and our Beaver Dam radio stations for many years. My first full-time boss up in Beaver Dam, one of the greats in the industry. So the John Moser Children's Radiothon benefiting local Dodge County charities. Several benefit from the funds that are raised for this event. Every June they do events all year long, and here's another one today that you can contribute to and enjoy a little fun watching Wally bowl on the Daily Dodge TV video stream as well. Tausch, we've already got a kick out of it.
It's been fun to watch. I think he's going to be there most of the weekend. So help out. It's a great cause, and I always love when people will put their money where their mouth is, and they make these wagers and these and it's for a good cause up there in Beaver Dam. So kudos to Wally and the team up there.
I will be up there this afternoon, and I think I will be stepping in to help him with the celebrity option on his wheel to bowl one game to help him reduce some pins.
Celebrity option. The hell world are we living in?
That's all the time we have today.
What world are we living in?
I will return to producing the show on Monday. Jason will return to host. Thanks so much for coming along for the ride today. As Jason always says, take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucs fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and
From Studio One on the campus of the worldwide headquarters of ESPN.